and the engines are running. They're getting ready to get out of town. And the team that hasn't packed the earliest is the one that's going to win it.
All right, let's first talk about the quarterback situation for Oakland. Well, we've got a different quarterback. Billy Joe Hobart is going to start.
Yeah, Billy Joe Holbert's got kind of the offensive lineman's mentality. He's 0-4 as a starter, but look for the Oakland Raiders to open up the passing game down the field. He's a very strong-arm quarterback. Naturally, they'll run the ball some with Napoleon Kaufman, but look for them to take the ball to that old vertical deep pass.
And for the Seattle Seahawks, it's the same situation. They have a new starting quarterback, Stan Gelbaugh.
Well, and Stan Gelbaugh's 0-11 as a starter in the NFL, and one of these guys is getting off the schneid. You know, Dennis Erickson, his staff, and the players are very excited about Stan Gelbaugh. He's 34. He's played all over the world, and they really think he's got a chance to win this game. And I think Seattle, with him, is going to be able to move the ball against Oakland.
It's just a lot of fun to play in this kind of a ball game.
It really is. Once you resign to the fact that you're not going anywhere, you want to say, hey, we're here.
And also, you want to make that last impression for it next year.
Very important.
Stay with us. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. But right now, let's go to New York City. And here's Greg Gumbel. 54 degrees, humidity 68%. Forecast breezy and rainy. And I tell you, we've had sunshine. We've had dark clouds, light clouds. We've had moving clouds. We've had sprinkles. A bit of everything today.
And it really is going to be important because you'll see the whole center of this field has been reset the last week or so. Look for a lot of slipping and sliding inside by the linemen and running backs.
Seattle Seahawks have won the toss, and Corey Harris is the deep back on the kickoff return as we are underway in this final regular season game. This one will go through and out of the end zone, so with the touchback, we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. And Stan Gelbaugh, in his 10th year, played his collegiate ball at Maryland. He is the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. This is his offensive line, Randy.
This offensive line actually done a pretty good job. Pete Kendall done a nice job as a rookie. Howard Ballard. Look for that right side of Ballard and Graham in the running game.
His backs and receivers.
Well, Lamar Smith starts at running back. Chris Warren's got the bad ribs. Won't see much of him at all today. And Carlester Crumpler last week was their big receiver against Jacksonville.
So the Seahawks will start from their own 20-yard line, first down, opening series of the ball game. Lamar is the tailback, fake on a pitch out, and here is the reverse. The handoff is to Joey Galloway, who's outside across the 30 and out of bounds to the 31-yard line. So they opened with a bit of trickery against this defense of the Oakland Raiders.
And this is a defensive line, Charlie, that can really dominate physically. Chester McLaughlin, the Pro Bowler, the best example of that inside.
Linebackers in secondary.
And Charlie, the reason you run like that is because these linebackers and defensive backs react very quickly to the flow, and that's why they got hit for that big reverse there by Galloway, who's always a threat.
Gain of just over 11 yards on the play, first down. And now the handoff to Lamar Smith. He comes inside and he goes to the 35-yard line. He's going to pick up about 4 yards on the play. Should be second down and 6 for the Seattle Seahawks.
You know, watch an awful lot today for one thing. When the run starts this way, watch the back and how they seal off the run.
Christmas colors. I like that.
Exactly. Now watch the right side and the job they do sealing things off backside. That is going to set up a lot of the big runs. You know, Carlester Crumpler, Ballard, and Graham set that up for Lamar Smith.
Second down. Lamar Smith. Going to lose a yard. So spotted at the 34-yard line. It's going to be third down and 5.
Yeah, that there was set up by you know, Pat Swillen's a guy that you talk about physical dominance. He is not the first lineman with the Raiders to come to mind, but he's somebody that can get upfield quickly. That's what he did there. But, you know, watch these defensive ends, especially guys like Pat Swilling. It's so important for them to get that quick first step. And with this resodded area, they'll actually try to line up maybe a little wider to get out of the resodded area so they get better footing.
4 wide receivers on this offensive set. Trying to hit a pass to the right side of Lamar Smith, and it's knocked away.
Charlie trying to luckily get rid of this thing. Lorenzo Lynch was blitzing from his position. Greg Beekert coming from the onside. You see Pat Swilling coming from the other side, and Beekert knocks this thing down. And remember, from the outside, that's your middle linebacker blitzing.
So Beekert knocks it away. It's fourth down. That means that Rick Tootin will be kicking, and Tim Brown is the return man. Low drive, not that good a kick. Very quickly through the return man with room to run to the 20. A return of 10 yards out near the 30-yard line. And so the Oakland Raiders are going to take over on offense. Their quarterback is Billy Joe Hobart. And as he strolls out, we'll look at the offense of the Raiders, starting with an offensive line. There's a change at center.
Oh, there is. Barrett Robbins, the center's been out with a combination of flu. He's been in the hospital with a bad reaction, and he's been sick. Turk starts there. Tim Brown, the Pro Bowler, wide receiver, Charlie, and Napoleon Kaufman is very electrifying at running back.
Hobart steps back, fires, pass is incomplete. Defensive coverage was there right at the 35-yard line. Kenny Shedd, the intended receiver, and Terry Wooden very close. Very close. They're going to let him play. Seattle's front four defensively.
They got two Pro Bowlers, Sinclair and Kennedy, and Sinclair's the man whose job it is to put that pressure on Hobart, especially when he wants to go downfield.
Linebackers in secondary.
Well, you saw Terry Wooden with his close coverage right there. Carlton Gray and Corey Harris are the guys most responsible for those down the field passes at corner.
Tim Brown is the motion man. Four wide receivers. Kaufman the remaining back. Incomplete. James Jett the intended receiver. So Billy Joe has come out throwing. Had the coverage in the nickel defense for the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, Charlie, we've already seen too, timing patterns for Mike White's offense when they're running those 15-yard outs like that are very important. And when you see little slips and falls by the wide receiver, that enables Greg McMackin's defender there, the defensive coordinator for Seattle, to recover better, and it throws the timing off from the quarterback and the receiver.
3 wide receivers on this end, an open tight end. Kaufman the remaining guy. Overthrows, one-hand grab, nice catch. Glover is on the starting assignment at tight end for Ricky Dudley. Pulls this one in. That is only his 9th reception on the year. Robert Blackman makes the tackle.
When you see the linebackers drop, watch an area between the linebackers and the defensive backs. That's right where Billy Joe throws this ball. Nicely placed, a great catch, and that's the one thing the Raiders haven't been getting out of Ricky Dudley lately, are those tough catches. Dudley's been knocking them down. Glover catches that one.
First down at the Seattle 40-yard line. A gain of 25 yards on the play. Here's the first running play by Kaufman. He has 10, 15, almost breaks it for a touchdown. Just a step away from going all the way. Terry Wooden finally stopping Napoleon Kaufman, who is averaging 6 yards a carry. That's tops in the NFL.
Well, yeah, I mean, this team is leading the NFL in average yards per carry, because when you got a Napoleon Kaufman, you get a shot at him, you better throw. And you don't have to get in the side of this guy. You don't have to square up on Napoleon Kaufman. When he's averaging 6 yards a crack like that, you get a chance to throw at his legs. You better take it, because if you miss, he is gone.
And a gain of 18 yards on the play, first down. No score in the ball game. Kaufman slipping and sliding, jumping to the outside. He's going to end up at the 32-yard line. He will lose about 5 yards on the play. Darrell Williams, the free safety, comes up to make the stop as you move on the 11-minute mark. So we're about 4 minutes. The ball game scoreless, the Seahawks and the Raiders.
Hey, it's kind of surprising. You say the field's wet and there's new sod. How come the guy doesn't fall down? Well, this isn't one of those great big running backs. Those are the folks up in Seattle are used to seeing this guy from the University of Washington. You see the center of the field, but a big heavy back, I think, tries to make that cut and falls down. But he's kind of a hummingbird running back. There's not much weight going down when he puts his foot.
5'9", 180 pounds, Napoleon Kaufman. Top draft choice a year ago. Deep downfield, incomplete. Tim Brown had it in his hands. That's one that's very, very catchable. Darrell Williams was there for the Seahawks.
Oh, when they signed Darrell Williams from the Cincinnati Bengals as the free agent this year, he was brought in to make plays, and he has made plays. And there's a great example. He's right with Tim Brown. The ball's put where it's supposed to be. You see that left hand, though. It just strips Brown out completely. I mean, he has been a great add to the defensive backfield of the Seahawks.
So it is 3rd down and 14 for Oakland. the Seahawks on their offensive set. They picked up 1 first down. After that, it was in 3 and out. And here's a sack. Ball comes loose inside of the 30, out around the 28 or the 29-yard line.
That was Michael Sinclair, Charlie, coming around from that left defensive end position.
And the Oakland Raiders have. And Sinclair he's hurting as he comes up.
Well, you see that left elbow brace he's wearing, but you know what's hurting him is his back. Watch the contortion he does trying to get around Lincoln Kennedy. Now he grabs him, and here comes the contortion as Holbert gets knocked back over him, and the ball comes loose.
So the ball at the 28-yard line. Cole Ford, who has hit 20 of 27 field goals. His long is 47, and this would match it. This is from the 37-yard line, a 47-yard attempt. And it comes through, just barely nicking the upright, 47 yards away. And Oakland takes the lead 3-0. As we come back, we're joined by a heavy drizzle here in Oakland, as Corey Harris, the deep back on the return, will move up and field the ball at the 11-yard line. He's now through the 20, the 25, past the 30, out around the 32-yard line on the return. So the Seattle Seahawks, pushing and shoving already going on.
These last games are kind of touchy-feely games anyway, Charlie. I mean, and you know, there's a scoring drive of the Raiders with that field goal, and Napoleon Kaufman hiding under that jacket and towel somewhere, the running back most responsible for those yards. And it is now it's no longer a drizzle, Charlie. It is flat raining.
About the ball on the Seahawks 33-yard line, first down. Lamar Smith is the remaining back. 2 wide receivers, a little slow on the exchange. The pass is incomplete. May have gotten away from Stan Gelbaugh. Joey Galloway, the intended receiver. Terry McDonald had the coverage. He had a bit of a problem from Kevin Mawai on the exchange from center. That comes right up to his chest. Juggling act.
Went right through his hands, Charlie. Straight through his hands and hit him in the 8. Seattle got awfully lucky with that kind of an exchange. And now that it's really starting to pour down here, watch all these quarterback center exchanges and the handoffs. Gets to the outside, sliding out of bounds around the 36 to 37-yard line with Mike Morton right behind him. Now the weather is changeable here. And that means in all probability it'll rain for a little while and it'll move on. We'll have clouds and sunshine, and then it may rain again. Oh, they cheer rain here in Oakland. That's part of the attitude. The whole idea of being a Raider and playing at Oakland is to have a wet, sloppy, sloggy kind of field and to get all muddy and to get. I mean, there's enough ugly-looking stuff in the stands, much less on the field when they get all muddy.
Third down and 6. No score. Raiders up by the field goal. 47-yard field goal by Cole Ford. 3-0, and another losing the ball on the exchange and goes slipping and sliding and almost came out again. And Gelbaugh is down.
He is down. Remember, Gino Torretta is the backup quarterback. Rick Meyer was designated the number 3 quarterback today.
Oh, and he is.
Well, watch the center quarterback exchange again. It came right through his hands, hit him in the stomach, bounced up, got to where he needed it. And here comes Pat Swilling, but before Swilling can get there, Gelbaugh just all of a sudden pulls up and goes down. That could be a muscle pull there, the way how quickly he went down.
And he pulls it on that resodded part of the field, which, as you can see as you were watching it, you just simply cannot grip it. It's going to move on.
Yeah, it's going to move when you plant on it. We saw Napoleon Kaufman be able to, look at this area right here. That is the area that has been resodded. That's the soft spot.
We have a timeout. We'll step aside. We'll be back in a moment. The Raiders are up 3-0.
Stan Gelbaugh get the snap, and after he picks it up, watch him take a quick step right here. And then he feels something on that left side of his body.
And as Rick Tootin tries to get the kick away as the sun comes out, it is blocked, rolls into the end zone. It is going to be a safety. It was recovered by Seattle. The impetus put on by the kick, the blocking of the kick only changes the direction of the impetus, the direction of the football. And it goes in. Here it is.
The snap was a little off, but Tootin had a hard time the first time. You notice how far away the ball drifted when he dropped it? He dropped it out there, the ball went low, and that's what caused the snap. It was a bad job by the punter, Rick Tootin, that made him drill that one low.
And it was Ron Holmberg in his first career start, starting at linebacker, who blocked the kick. And so the Oakland Raiders are now up by a score of 5-0, 3 for the field goal and 2 for the safety. And the Seattle Seahawks will have a free kick. That means that they will be kicking from their own 20-yard line. They can either punt, which they normally do, or you can off like at the beginning of a ball game.
Well, there's Dave Arnold, the Seahawks special teams coach, and if I'm him right now, I get my punter, Rick Tootin, as soon as he gets off the field here, off on the side, and have him practicing some drops, because he's done it twice, and both times the balls come off very, very low off the punter's foot. I mean, let's even watch it here, because the wind is blowing into Tootin's face going this way, and he really, it's altered where he thinks the ball's going to be, because he's gone to kick it and hasn't been there either time.
And the sun has come out, as we mentioned, and a gorgeous rainbow in the backdrop.
Well, you ordered it for about this time, didn't you? About 125, you said, cue the rainbow.
Cue the rainbow. And it's a Merry Christmas rainbow.
Tim Brown back receive for the Raiders.
Another low kick, Charlie.
Tim Brown is back along with Darryl Hobbs, and it is Hobbs who is the return man. And he is hit at the 41 line, pushed back around the 38. And the Raiders will have the ball in good field position at their own 41. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back. Oakland leads at 5-0. Have the ball in a 5-0 lead at the own 41-yard line. Napoleon Coffin kind of dodges in and out, picks up a couple of yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Bad news for the Seattle Seahawks. Stan Gelbaugh is leaving the combat and may not return.
Well, the word downstairs from them is a torn groin muscle. Very, very unlikely. And with a muscle like that in wet, cold weather, not a chance.
That means that Gino Chiaretta will be the next quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. Myers, the 3rd quarterback. Deep down the far side, the race is on, and it is a diving reception. Yes, for Kenny Shedd. Whoop, he had to catch up for that one, and he did. And Billy Joe Hobart just unloaded with the tackle.
This ball must have changed directions on Shedd half a dozen different times. Look at him working on Carlton Gray here. And this ball's in the air. Gray is just slightly trailing. Doesn't get a chance to turn at any time. But look at Shedd just concentrating with those eyes. It's moved. It's moved. His body moves. And I tell you, Billy Joe Hobart can get the ball down the field.
51 yards on the play. 6-yard line of Seattle. First down goal. And here's Napoleon Coffin. Just inside the 5, the 4-yard line. A couple of yards, 2nd down and go.
Yeah, this is the situation. They're up 5-0. They're going against this defense. And this defense has had a problem all year long in preventing touchdowns in the red zone. They're the worst in the NFL, 31 out of 50. See a touchdown percentage, 62. Offensively, that's what you want. Defensively, it's about 30% off of what you want.
2nd and goal. Over to throw, drills it over the middle. No, incomplete. Andrew Glover, the tight end, the starting tight end, who has one good reception already in the ball game. Cannot hang on to this one. Darrell Williams had the coverage.
Well, none of these catches are good. Hobart had plenty of protection. Now he's trying to just kind of fit this thing in, and he put the ball where it needed to be, and he knows it. Never mind.
Over to again to throw. Now he has pressure. He has to get rid of this one. He throws it over the head of Andrew Glover, but he was just avoiding any kind of a loss to set up the field goal attempt by Cole Ford. Michael Sinclair and Cortez Kennedy were harassing him on the play.
You know, Holbert, you saw his reaction. That drop ball by Glover. Doesn't take a quarterback too long to get in there and give you that old vet starting quarterback reaction on a drop, does it?
No.
How can you do this to me?
I think that comes from junior high school.
I guess that's part of being a quarterback. They build that into the model.
22-yard field goal attempt by Cole Ford. And he drills this one. The Raiders add 3 more. They've scored 3 times, 2 field goals and a safety, and they are another. Meyer on the sideline. Now, he was designated as the number 3 quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, but now with Dan Gelbaugh going down, Toretta, the number 2 quarterback, will be in. But should he go down for any reason, Rick Meyer comes in. That means that neither one of the other 2 quarterbacks can come back into the ball game. That is, unless it is the 4th quarter. Then if Meyer comes in the 4th quarter, they can come back. That is the designated 3rd quarterback. A touchback on the kickoff, and we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Experience the NFL all week long on NFL.com, the official website of the National Football League. For all the tackles and touchdowns and a live game day scoreboard, click on NFL.com. And Gino Toretta, who is yet to throw a football this year for the Seattle Seahawks, will have his opportunity here. As the Seahawks start from their own 20-yard line, first down. He hands off to Lamar Smith. And he's going to pick up a yard to the 21-yard line, 2nd down and 9.
Well, we came into this game with 2 quarterbacks that both had never won a game as a starter. Gelbaugh 0-11 and Billy Joe Holbert 0-4. Now we got a quarterback in the game that not only has never won a game in the NFL, he's never thrown a pass. You could say he's never had an incompletion either or thrown an interception. But Dennis Erickson has got to be a little fidgety over there on the sideline trying to live through this one.
Kind of good news, bad news with that information, isn't it? Ball comes loose at the end of the play. The official is going to say the ball was down at the 24-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd down and 6. Lamar Smith again, the ball carrier. You figure that Toretta now will have to throw.
Well, Dennis Erickson took his shots there. Let's let him hand off a couple times and see if we can't get a few of the butterflies that I'm sure are there out. But now you're at 3rd and 5 against this defense. And if I'm the Oakland Raiders against a guy that's never thrown a pass, I man up the guys on the outside and I blitz everybody else.
Raiders showing a 4-man front. Now they show 5. Now they show 6. You're right. They were anxious to come.
Well, actually, they were going to bring Carrington from the safety because he was up too. But
Mike Carey, the referee.
False start on the offense, number 66 and 87.
Both Pete Kendall
It remains 3rd down.
and Carlester Crumpler. They were also getting antsy, seeing that the Raiders, they knew they were coming.
well, if you didn't like 3rd and 5 with a guy that's never thrown a pass, you're going to be absolutely nuts about 10. Because the Raiders showed you they were going to bring 7 people at the quarterback. And Dennis Erickson only has to hope his blitz pickup and blitz recognition is in place.
This time the Raiders only bring 4. Toretta gets rid of it in a hurry, and it is incomplete.
Well, they only needed 1. Russell Maryland came right up the middle so fast, Toretta had to dump that thing off.
So it'll be 4th down and 10. That means that Rick Tootin will kick it away, and should also mean that Tim Brown could come up with good field position for the Oakland Raiders.
Well, remember, watch the drop of Tootin as he kicks this ball. He's had 1 block, and he's kicked 2 very, very low. Watch how this comes off his foot.
Good snap, terrible kick. Takes a Raider roll inside of the 40, down to around the 36-yard line.
Well, you know, Rick's had a great year kicking the ball, averaging over 44 yards a punt, but right now he's kicking like an indoor kicker, kicking outside in wet, sloppy conditions, because it's definitely having an effect not only on his drop, but his plant and the contact he's making with the ball.
And then it starts to play with your mind. Then you start thinking about it. That's what you're.
Well, you know, and you got to remember, kickers, somebody puts kind of Vaseline on their monkey bars of life to start with, so they don't have much of a grip to start with. Don't start prying fingers off.
They're monkey bars of life.
Chester McLaughlin's back's tightening up. We saw Sinclair's earlier for the Seahawks.
Oakland starts from the 36, fake the pitch out. Over scrambles, now just a little underhand shuttle to Derek Fenner. Well, they make something out of nothing. They end up with about 6, maybe 7 yards on the play. Dean Williams with the tackle for Seattle.
These kind of plays, you'd almost like to have a camera just looking at the face of Derek Fenner. Because when Holbert scrambles out here, he sort of says, I'm going to run. No, you take it. And Fenner, he's getting ready to block. He turns around, sees his quarterback, and all of a sudden he's flipping him the ball.
Harvey Williams is the tailback. Derek Fenner's the fullback. And Tim Brown goes in motion. And here is Harvey Williams, and he'll have the first down. He needed 3, and he got 4. Dean Wells with the tackle.
You know, what a disappointing year for Harvey Williams this year. And we talk about how well Kaufman's played and his rushing. Here's a 1,000-yard rusher that finally got his 1,000 yards after really kind of being held back at Kansas City. Got 900 the first year here. Then he gets 1,100 yards. And now they refer to him here in Oakland as a situational ball player. People kill to get a guy that's got 1,000 yards and not refer to him as situational.
First down. As the corner turns it, 45-yard line. Pick up a couple of yards on the play. Dean Wells, the middle linebacker, again with the tackle as he's Williams.
You talk about ball players in this game that, you know, are playing and almost doing sort of auditions. You know, you got a guy like Harvey Williams. You got Rick Meyer now, number 2. You know, what's the future hold for Meyer? What's it hold for Chris Warren from Seattle? What's it hold for Harvey Williams? So, you know, there's a good chance. You look at these guys right now in silver and black and in the white jerseys of Seattle. Next time you see them here on NBC in the NFL, they'll be in different jerseys.
Market for a longer gain as suspected. Good for 6. Second down. Over now with pressure, rolls away from it, and he throws. Just shy of the first down. Harvey Williams almost takes it on one knee.
The unnecessary throw out of bounds there. I'm surprised they didn't flag him. I guarantee you, if a Raider defensive back did that, it's a personal foul.
On the coverage.
Carlton Gray of the Seahawks. Why is that? Why is it not called on the other side?
Hey, look at the end here with Gray.
3rd and 1.
Out of bounds, throw him down.
Yeah.
Number 68, eligible receiver.
Rick Cunningham is an eligible receiver as a tight end for the Oakland Raiders.
Well, on 3rd and real short, they always use Cunningham as a tight end. They've got big tight ends to start with. Now they've got one really big tight end.
Play action fake on 3rd down and half a yard. Underneath the coverage to the 30-yard line, and it is gone for the first down. James Judd. Robert Blackman had the coverage for Seattle.
It's 3rd and short. You bring a tackle in. You've got 3 tight ends. And you throw a play action pass. You can see that offensive line pop right up, so the pass is not surprising to the defense. Boy, you're kind of awful lonely down there, and I don't know how good a look our officials got it where that ball is.
I don't know if he had it or not, to tell you the truth. But it is a first down. Inside of 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Here's Kaufman. He reverses his field. He outran himself. He made some body moves and he got ahead of his feet. He fell down.
Well, you know, one thing having a Napoleon Kaufman in your backfield does for an offensive line is it lengthens their span of attention. Because normally you block for 2, maybe 3 seconds. If you got Napoleon Kaufman back there, you better block for 4 or 5 seconds because there's no telling where he's going.
And that is the end of the first quarter with the score. The Oakland Raiders out in front of the Seattle Seahawks 8-0. The sun is shining here in Oakland. We've had clouds, rain, and now we're getting clear skies. A very, very nice afternoon.
And Napoleon Kaufman so far looks like he could run through in between the rays of sunshine with some of the breaks he's made.
Here's Kaufman again, jumps to the outside, puts on another move, goes to the 20-yard line. Napoleon Kaufman. Robert Blackman with the tackle.
He played for the University of Washington Huskies up there in Seattle, so he's got a little bit of moss between his toes. Used to playing in this wet weather, so that doesn't do anything to him. And you see what he's done this season. Last year he doesn't start, but he still contributes a lot. He started 7 games, but I tell you what, this guy usually only gets anywhere from 7 to 10 carries during a game, generally speaking. Last time against Seattle, he had 104 yards.
Change around. Just short on the measurement.
A gain of 5 yards.
And the important thing, too, Charlie, when you're trying to go after Napoleon Kaufman, defender, the last thing you really want to do is try to break down and watch him make moves. You just got to kind of commit to where you think he's going to be and try to hit him. Because if you start, adjusting, and if you play defense with Greg McMacken there, the defensive coordinator for Seattle, don't break down. Just go. Because you'll pull a muscle trying to make moves with him.
Well, are you going to guess at the spot? You go for that spot and hope that he makes his move and comes back into it.
Just go for the spot, be where you're supposed to be, and have faith in the other guys playing defense with you. They're going to be inside of you. We got the 3 tight end formation back for the Raiders.
They're down and inches. You look for the quarterback sneaking amongst other things. And the give is to the second back. That's very good. Benner at 6'3", 245 becomes a tailback.
Right, and his fullback was Glover, the tight end. He's 6'6", 250. I tell you what, and Glover got all the way clean through. A fullback should never be able to get all the way through a hole without hitting somebody. That's when you know it's a tight end trying to be a fullback. Because a normal fullback's going to just try to hunt somebody up to hit. Even if it's got his jersey on, he'll hit it.
First down for the Raiders at the Seahawks 16-yard line. To throw, far side, right on target. As he goes to Darrell Hobbs.
Run out of bounds by Corey Harris.
Corey Harris is a man who ran him out of bounds for Seattle.
2nd and 3 from the 9.
9-yard line, it'll be 2nd down and 3.
Slowly but surely. Not too much greed here right now for the offensive game plan of the Raiders. We've seen one big pass down the field, but so far they've really thrown a lot of confidence passes for Billy Joe Holbert.
And here they show 4 wide receivers on the set with Kaufman the remaining back. Holbert goes to an audible. Quick drop throws incomplete. He's going to Darrell Hobbs. Hey, Billy Joe Holbert looks pretty good.
He really does. I mean, on that pass, Mike White has to be thinking, thank goodness my receiver didn't get any closer to that. Because watch where he puts it. You don't put balls in that kind of position. You saw Hobbs' arms come back down. You stretch a receiver out like that in a defensive backfield, that's a good way to make an enemy out of a wide receiver, because he is just going to splatter him.
Billy Joe Holbert, of course, played his collegiate ball at Washington. This year has hit 45 of 81 passes coming into the ball game for 492 yards, so he has played a little but not a lot. Fakes a handoff, rolls right, throws it into a crowd. He gets away with one. It's incomplete. Winston Moss was there for the Seahawks. And so once again, the Seattle Seahawks, although they haven't generated anything at all on offense, have kept the Raiders out of the end zone. This would be their 3rd field goal with a safety.
Well, we're not the only ones that know that Billy Joe Holbert is a little more mobile than Jeff Hostetler, and Greg McMacken, the coordinator for Dennis Erickson in Seattle, is telling his guys, don't overreact to fakes. If you want to see, keep contained on that quarterback, and they've done it a couple times perfectly.
Cole Ford, 27 yards away, high snap, pulled down by the holder, and a good job. It is good from 27 yards away, and the Raiders now lead 11.
Oakland Raiders 11.
And the Christmas spirit here in Oakland. The Oakland Raiders, the Seattle Seahawks. Raiders are up by a score 11-0. The sun is shining and the wind is whipping around the stadium. Corey Harris is the deep back on the return for the Seattle Seahawks, who currently are down by a score of 11-0. They've lost Stan Gelbaugh, their starting quarterback. And the kickoff hangs up. The 9-yard line on the return to reasonably good field position for the Seattle Seahawks. Next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, a program note, The Wonders of Rome, an encore presentation of the award-winning film that looks back at 5 of the most famous Olympians of all time, one of them being Cassius Clay at that time, of course now Muhammad Ali, Wilma Rudolph, Rayford Johnson, Jerry West, and Oscar Robinson. That's The Wonders of Rome, next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time here on NBC.
19 yards on the run back by Corey Harris.
Michael Barber of the Seattle Seahawks is the injured player who the trainers are working on right around the 25-yard line.
And once again, a player down for about the 5th time so far early in this young game, right in the middle of that field in that sodded area. I mean, you've seen people take some really funny-looking cuts in that area so far today.
And the resodding was right down the middle of the field, just outside of the NFL hash marks, as you can see.
Yeah, it's just a little darker, and it goes from the 15-yard line on your left all the way down to the 10-yard line on the right side. And that was done. The Monday night game ripped it up. A couple of high school championship games here ripped it up, and now they resod it. It's only been about a week, so it hasn't much chance really to knit. And, you know, really, you've watched the Raider passing game that field. They've done most of it
for the Oakland Raiders, showing a good arm and that mobility. And now it's up to Gino Toretta of the Seattle Seahawks. He is the number 2 quarterback for the Seahawks, with Stan Gelbaugh going down with a full groin injury. And a first down for the Seahawks at their own 28-yard line. Lamar Smith is the tailback. 3 wide receivers on the set. And the pass is completed at the 30-yard line. Along the far side to Lester Cooper, the who pulls Darren Carrington along with him for a couple of extra yards.
And Gino Toretta has now completed 50% of his passes in his career in the NFL. He's now 1 for 2, and that was a pass that he fit in perfectly to Crumple. I mean, if I'm calling plays, and you at home, I'm sure have to agree that let this guy complete some balls. Sure. Just give him the quick, easy ones, because you know he won the Heisman Trophy. This guy knows how to throw a football.
Second down and 4, 34-yard line, game is set. Lamar Smith, a yard to the 35. It's going to be 3rd down and 3. As Greg Beaker was waiting for him in the hole.
And you know, we've talked about Kaufman, that kind of hummingbird approach as he runs. Well, Lamar Smith doesn't quite get to flap his wings fast enough to get away from Beaker there. There's no really room to cut or move.
Not a lot of hum there.
A lot of bird, but not much hum.
3rd down 3. Raiders showing a 5-man rush. And it is incomplete. You know, I just thought of something. We have 11 minutes and 31 seconds time remaining in the first half. Have we had a flag?
Well, and that's a highly unusual, especially you look at the Raiders team last week. 20 penalties. I mean, they have got a thing going this year, just totally wise. There's running backs that don't run for many yards as they've been penalized.
The Raiders need 8 penalties and 94 yards in penalty to break their own NFL record in the ballgame.
Actually, they don't want 8 penalties and 90-something yards. They'd rather not have that. They already got it.
High snap, pulls it down, gets the kickoff. This one another low line drive to Tim Brown. He is very returnable because the ball gets to him before the coverage does. A pretty good pickup coverage to the 25-yard line. The tackle is made at that spot. Raiders will there, and we'll be back in a moment. Raiders will go to work at their own 26-yard line. That last return by Tim Brown. The tackle was made by the rookie free agent from Ole Miss, Drew Innocent. 26-yard line, first down, Oakland. A fumble on the exchange, and the Seattle Seahawks have recovered it.
That was Cortez Kennedy in the backfield right at the point of exchange causing that, I think, Charlie. Watch Cortez, right 96. Comes right through there. He's got Holbert. He distracts the entire process of the handoff. And they're able to recover that thing. That was a get-off by the Pro Bowler.
And it was Antonio Edwards, number 94, who recovered the fumble. Cortez Kennedy set it up, and the Seahawks have their first break of the ballgame.
Well, here's an area that really hurts you, having a quarterback that doesn't have much experience in the game in the red zone. Not only not many turnovers, but the penalties thing we've already noticed. You would think coming in here with a sloppy field, there'd have been balls all over the place.
Lamar Smith is the remaining back. You expect to see him run here. And run to the right, because that's where the best footing is. Guess what? Play action fake. And the pass in actuality is throwing it away. As Toretta was out of time as he was being chased to the far side. It'll be second down and 10 at the 22.
Yeah, we've got guys splattering outside. They're going to start getting dirty. But, you know, if we got something to do here, besides try to stay clean and wipe yourself off, Rob Holmberg, is Joey Galloway. He handled the ball the first play of the game for Seattle on that reverse. And he's been just a complete non-factor. I mean, he's at the top of the screen now, but get this guy the ball.
He and Ricky Fall on the right side. And now we've got flag. No, we had one false start early on.
Yeah, by the Seahawks.
Yep.
By Kendall.
Yep.
Before the snap, there was a false start on the offense. Number 74, 5-yard penalty.
So James Atkins.
Yeah, you get in these situations down by the red zone too, Charlie. You got a new quarterback in the game, a new sound behind you, and you know Dennis Erickson honestly only gave Gino Toretta probably 6 to 8 reps this week, because he was trying to get Stan Gelbar ready for the game. So the line is not used to his voice, not used to his cadence and his pace.
Second down and 15. The ball plays back now at the 27-yard line. Pressure from, this one is in as he was trying to go to the left flat. A little swing pass out to Lamar Smith. Chester McLaughlin came in, and he got a hand on it.
Well, he was in Gino Toretta's face enough. He could have gotten his elbow, his shoulder, the better part of the left side of his body on this pass if he wanted to. Look at him he's working against the rookie Kendall, and he goes right by him and gets that right hand out there to block that. See, then he's got the presence of mind to turn around just in case he popped it straight up, try to get himself an interception.
Third down and 15. Lamar Smith again, the remaining back against 3 wide receivers. I'm wondering why Toretta they don't go to the shotgun. He has pressure side. It is incomplete. It will be fourth down and 15. Russell Maryland with the pressure.
Well, Maryland gets in his face. This is pure inexperience here. He's getting the rush, and it's just a matter of reps. Where are the people I'm supposed to dump it to when things are hot and things are bad? And, he's backing up, running, trying to get away from people and get the ball at the same time. It's not a pretty picture.
Peterson now with a 45-yard field goal attempt. He drives this one. And he drives it through from 45 yards away. We've got a flag down.
That's in the part of the field that usually comes a number of people on the field, maybe too many Raiders.
Can you 1, 2, 3, 6?
Well, you'd expect them to have 10, 11 now.
Well, no, I was just wondering. Maybe someone hadn't slipped off to the side yet. 1, 2, 3.
Too many men on the defense. That penalty is declined. Field goal is good.
Seahawks will take the points. It's an 11-3 ball game. As Todd Peterson splits the uprights from 45 yards away. We'll be back in a moment. And Randy Cross, we want to wish you a very merry holiday season.
Is that your Christmas card he's reading there? Pat Swilling on the bench, John?
It's a long one.
You fax it to him?
I faxed it to him. It's actually my entire life story is all that be. The kickoff return is taken by Carl Kidd. And he excites the sparse crowd here. Rookie round. Oh, what would you guess? 35, 40,000 somewhere in that neighborhood possibly?
I'd call that complimentary.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I mean, this is now the new configuration, a wonderful place for a football game. This new stadium, basically new stadium here at Oakland. They're actually doing the arena next door, have that all gutted out and doing that. It's a very loud stadium for an offense that's traveling on the road. And if the defense gets fired up for the Raiders, you'll hear an awful lot of sound for Gino Torretta, defensive side of the ball for the Seahawks.
So Oakland goes short. They lead in the ball game by a score of 11-3 with 10 minutes and 46 seconds. That's the time remaining in the first half. Tim Brown pulls it into the 50-yard line and adds another 6 yards to the end of the play. Billy Joe Howard is right on target. Gordon Gray with the tackle.
Well, I mean, you got a guy like Tim Brown who's one of the best punt returners ever. I mean, he made a lot of impact at Notre Dame in college on his way to a Heisman Trophy as a returner. You get him the ball, let him do this. And, you know, it's a cumulative effect, too, with Tim Brown. He might not break one this time, but it's the next time or the time after that. He makes that one guy miss and goes the distance.
And he picks up 22 yards on the play and the first down. Over down the pitch to Kaufman. Kaufman runs into a crowd. He ended up losing a yard back to the 45-yard line. It's going to be second down at 11. Sam Adams, the defensive tackle, draft choice in '94 out of Texas A&M, was there to stop him.
Let's see that Sam Adams got up a little bit slow. He's limping so much his shoelaces are untied. He got his foot stepped on. You know, I bet he got his foot stepped on, and he got his foot stepped on so hard it ripped his shoelaces out.
Now that's a step on.
That's a step. Well, you know, actually now for the Raiders, a change in the offensive line. Robert Jenkins in at tackle for Pat Harlow, who went in with the flu.
Harlow just left the field of play when we walked in a moment ago, and it's knocked away at the last moment. Flag is dropped back where the quarterback is down, and is thrown by the referee. Should be roughing the passer. That's what it's going to be.
Against the former Raider Winston Moss, Charlie.
Against Seattle.
You know, watch one, is he hit him late, or two, where does he hit him? Look at that helmet right to the face. Automatic.
Yes.
Can you credit the Raiders with that penalty?
Personal foul, roughing the passer. On the defense, 55. 15 yards, automatic first down. Helmet to helmet tackle.
You know, the only reason I mentioned
I'd say because Winston Moss was
former Raider.
I would say half.
Half?
Half.
Okay, so they get 7.5 yards.
Okay. Meanwhile, the penalty takes the ball to the 30-yard line, and that's a first down. And otherwise, it would have been third down and 11. It would be a very costly penalty for the Seahawks. They're not that far out of the ball game. They trail 11-3. They haven't shown hardly anything offensively as of yet. Are within close range of the Raiders. This is thrown away. There's nobody over there. Now they could get him for grounding the ball if they wanted to, but they don't. Pressure there by Michael Sinclair. There wasn't a receiver anywhere in the neighborhood.
Well, Tim Brown had been right in that area, so did a little stop and go and cleared out of it. But that was just a nice job, you know, by the Seattle Seahawks. And you watch what happens here. Watch the pocket and the job the offensive line does of protecting. They do a nice job. It doesn't break down to the end. You see everybody is run off. There's nowhere for them to go. And they're in the receiver within 15 yards to be generous.
Second down and 10. And here is Cobb. Has a little bit of a hole over the middle. He goes to the 25-yard line, picks up 5. Third down and 5. He's fun to watch, isn't he?
He really is. And you know, he's getting some good blocking from his line, but he's also getting pretty good blocking from Glover, the tight end. They're lining up in kind of an H-back position or a fullback, and they're using him to crack. Watch him crack inside. Watch 87, the tight end, working right here. Got Winston Moss. Gets him in the hole right there where the hole's supposed to go, and pop that ball behind it with Kaufman. So they're making Mr. Glover earn his paycheck here in the last game of the season.
Happy holidays, fellow Twitter and Red.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? We're down in 5. Over with a nice move. Move forward in the pocket, and there's the flag that they wanted.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Asking for it, were they?
All the guys in black were.
That's right. Legislation. Here's the call.
Pass interference on the defense, number 25. Automatic.
On Robert Blackman. First down.
Well, that's a second critical mistake by the defense of Dennis Erickson's Seahawks right here, because they're getting Billy Joe Holbert to move around. You see Robert Blackman gets that shot up around the head and shoulder before the ball gets. Look at him. He's not trying to roll dice there, folks. He's trying to emulate a flag being thrown.
So move the ball to the 12-yard line, and it is first down. Here's Kaufman. Was shut down inside, tried to come outside, was shut down there. He's going to take a bit of a loss. It's going to be second down, still 10. We'll mark it at the 12-yard line again.
Well, that was Terry Wooden and Winston Moss on the tackle there. And there's an instant running back gets out into the flat. He's got all these moves and everything else, but Winston Moss brackets him from one side, Wooden gets him from the other side, and Mike White's halfback's got nowhere to go.
7 minutes and 49 seconds and counting. That is the time remaining in the second quarter. We have yet to have a touchdown in the ballgame. We've had 4 field goals and a safety. Raiders lead it 11-3. Play action fake to Kaufman. Kaufman with a nice block. Completes the pass to Derek Fenner. Goes to the 5-yard line. Antonio Edwards with the tackle.
Did you see Derek Fenner at the end of that when he catches that ball? It's almost like he was surprised he had it.
Yes.
You know, it's a nice job here of protection. See, Fenner kind of fakes the block. Kaufman gets the key block. Watch him catch it like, whoa, I didn't fall down and I got it. What a deal.
7-yard line. There's 174 total yards in offense to 19 for the Seahawks. Third down, hit. That's a free ball. That's a fumble. That is a fumble. Was not going forward. And it's another fumble. Seattle has the ball. They fumble it with possession. They re-fumble it. A flag is down.
The flag is
down.
The
Raiders have the ball. Now, who knows if it stands up? If it does, it's down, but the flag is going to change things.
They're going to call that, I think, an attempt at a forward lateral is why they throw this flag down.
So, and we got another flag over on the other side.
Exactly. That's the motion for an illegal forward pass or a forward lateral.
This is one of those plays with everything that goes on that you know, if you ever read those books, you be the referee, and they have, if this happens and that happens, the ball comes loose, and then he returns it and runs this, and then that happened, and then he's down. You know, who gets the ball and where?
And in the book, it's Team A or Team B. I never played for either team. See, now that was definitely a fumble by Gelbach because the arm was not going forward. Holbert.
Yep.
And that was definitely a fumble. And then it was definitely a fumble also when the ball was attempted to be lateral forward.
After the change of possession, there's an illegal forward pass by the intercepting team. That penalty is 5 yards, and they retain possession at first down.
Now watch what happens here. Here's Billy Joe Holbert.
Terry Wooden with the fumble recovery.
He gets hit from behind by McCrary.
That's a fumble.
That's definitely a fumble. And then what happens after that? The ball is picked up. Wooden is trying to get the ball forward. See him trying to flip that thing. He flips the ball to Blackman. Then Blackman tries to flip it over to Corey Harris.
Ball spotted at the 6-yard line.
It's an illegal forward pass like that. Be honest with you, that's the reason it doesn't change possession.
Because the ball is immediately dead on the illegal
at
forward.
The point of the illegal forward pass.
At the point of the illegal
then
forward
they
pass.
assess the penalty from that point. So it wasn't where the ball was recovered.
So the play is dead at that point of the illegal forward pass.
Correct.
All right. And a lucky break for the Seattle Seahawks. And the ball on their own 6-yard line, first down.
We got fans trying to throw stuff out of that end zone section down onto the Seahawks.
Toretta goes deep down the sideline. There is tripping along the far side, and a flag is going to come down. Terry McDaniel had the coverage on the play, and he is going to be arguing.
Well, he's arguing that Galloway initiated the contact, trying to come around that ball.
On the defense. Automatic. First down.
That's what you have to watch as far as, he's got every right in the world to be where he is defensively. The offensive player cannot go through him to get to the ball. Look at it. Oh, wow, there you go. Never mind.
There it is.
Never mind. It happened before the trip.
Yeah.
McDaniel with that right arm trying to force him out of bounds is what the interference came in.
And a 30-yard penalty out to the Seattle 36-yard line. Seahawks have the ball, first down. Toretta can unload the ball down the sideline, but give him a little time. Here's Lamar Smith. Whoops.
And Lamar Smith can run, Charlie, if they give him a little blocking. But nobody touched Nolan Harrison in the better part of the defense on that side of the ball.
I wish I'd have said that. You captured the moment. Loss of 6.
Hey, just not getting the job done there on that left side. I mean, picture perfect toss. The best part of that play was the toss from Toretta to Smith, and it went rapidly downhill from there.
Nolan Harrison rapidly wrapped up Lamar Smith. 16. Gino Toretta is the quarterback. Now remember, Rick Meyer is the number 3 quarterback, so designated. Stan Gelbaugh was the starting quarterback. Raiders show blitz, pull out of it. And a good pass right on target. He goes to Joey Galloway, and he's pulled down by Terry McDaniel. That's the combination they're going to have to work on. Is Toretta to Galloway if they're going to get back in the ballgame. You mentioned that earlier, and now they're working on it.
Well, they got the pass interference trying to get in the ball to Galloway, so now Galloway's seen the football 3 times. Saw it on a reverse and now on a couple of passes, and he is the game breaker. No real secret when you play the Seattle Seahawks that if you stop Joey Galloway, you stop this offense, and we just saw that number of total offense that Seattle had going into this drive of 19. That tells you they take Galloway away.
They're down and 8. They have single coverage on Galloway. Blitz pressure is coming, and Toretta's brought down from behind. He's caught by Nolan Harrison, who's having a very good ball game. It'll be 4th down, and Seattle will kick it away.
Hey, Gino Toretta is a pocket passing quarterback. Not extremely tall, but he does his best work when he's able to set his feet, and when he has to move is when he's least effective.
And he hasn't taken many reps or snaps in practice this year, much less this week. He probably had more snaps in the ballgame than he has had the whole year. Here's a good one. Student finally unloads a good one. Here's Tim Brown. He throws it back across the field to the other side to Carl Kidd. Kidd to the 50-yard line, down the far sideline, and he is in caught from behind. So we're seeing it all today.
All right, Tim Brown catches the ball and puts a little skid ski on it. See, there's the catch, the skid ski. If you can't throw it 40 yards back across the field, get the skid and the roll with it. And Carl Kidd has absolutely nothing but open space in front of him. Well, he's got a punter, but he doesn't count that. And he gets caught from behind right there and by Two Innocent.
Two Innocent does it again.
Just a nice gutsy call by Mike White's staff on that throwback. Obviously something they have seen, because Tootin has given him the opportunity with these low punts.
So 54 yards on the return. The ball is at the Seattle 35-yard line, first down. And there's Harvey Williams. Not a lot there.
You know, earlier today on NFL NBC, Will McDonough said that that Mike White, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders here, would be replaced, after this ball game. Honestly, he coached me. He was one of my offensive line coaches earlier in my career. I played against him when Mike was at the University of California. One of the real first-class gentlemen. I think he's done a pretty good job here at Oakland. I'm not sure, with the current parameters on a coach here at Oakland, if anybody could win for the Raiders.
Always pass underneath the coverage is Tim Brown, 30-yard line gain of 3. Supposed to be 3rd down and 5. Now the Raiders coming into the ballgame, the record on the year is 7-8. They have 8 losses, but 7 of those 8 losses, 7 of them, a total of 25 points, including 2 overtime. 25 points in your game. So, that means that one game I think they lost by 16 points. But outside of that one, they've been right in the middle of all of them.
Yeah, that's one of the points Mike White makes. We've been just sort of like one play away in a lot of games.
Yep.
And unfortunately, when you read press releases and those kind of stats are usually from losing teams.
That's true. That is true. 3rd down and 5. Has a man wide open. Hits him at the 10-yard line. And it is Ricky Dudley. Dudley did not start because he's been dropping the ball. But he hangs on to this one. That's a tough one to catch, too, because he was wide open.
Well, and with all his this year, you might say, Charlie, that Dudley do right. A little harken back to my cartoon days as a kid, and Dudley finally catches it.
8-yard line, 1st down, goal to go. You're like the Oakland Raiders. You're pulling out all stops today. Here's the pitch to Harvey Williams. For a moment, I thought he might want to throw. He just didn't take off in a hurry.
Well, he had a lot of company over there in the bodies, and large bodies. You see there Sam Adams and Michael Sinclair and Terry Wooden and the whole gang.
And he's going to lose a couple of yards to the 10, where it's going to be 2nd down and goal to go after we come back. 2-minute warning to both benches. Go in the first half. Seattle has not done anything, but they are still in the middle of this ball game. 2nd down, goal to go for the Oakland Raiders. Play action fake screen. To the right side to Derek Finner. Finner goes to the 7-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal to go.
You talked about, Seattle hasn't done much offensively. They have done less than 1 yard. 1 yard passing. 20 yards of total offense. And Dennis Erickson's looking across the field at Mike White. And Mike White's almost got 200 yards here in the first half. And, Billy Joe Holbert, his number 2 guy, obviously better than Dennis Erickson's number 3 guy.
3rd down, goal to go. Incomplete. Holbert had pressure going to Tim Brown. Barely had time to get it off. It'll be 4th down and the field goal attempt.
Well, McCrary and Wooden do the old sandwich on Billy Joe, because he had receivers in the end zone that were open. But watch Wooden 90 and McCrary 99 coming from the other side put on the pressure and distract Holbert, because you're in the pocket and you're trying to concentrate. Those things are moving around you. That's what he was trying to get to. You see a little window. That window is where that opening was.
Go for it, 3 of 3 in the ball game. This is from 25 yards away. And he has got this one. He is 4 of 4. And now the Oakland Raiders have stretched their margin to 14-3. We'll be back in just a moment. Play, it started raining just all of a sudden. The clouds open up, and there it is.
Hey, if you don't like the weather, just hang around. It'll change.
Boy, it is really raining. And the sun was out just a moment ago. High and short, and taken by one of the upbacks. And that's James McKnight, the wide receiver. He's to the 40, the 30, and flipped up as he is caught from behind. Kenny Shedd saves a touchdown for the Oakland Raiders. James McKnight with a short off in the rain sparks the Seattle Seahawks.
And he's going straight ahead, but look at it. They refer to this kind of rain down in the south as coming a cloud. And it's coming a cloud, and it's coming to McKnight on this thing, on this return right here. He just goes straight ahead. He does not bother with anything else but speed, and it works. I mean, it's absolutely buckets right now. And look at this. It looks like it's clear.
And the sun is out while it's raining. The sun is shining on the field. You can see it with the shadows and the rain. We are watching a Christmas miracle film.
And it is just eased back up, so we got to have our rainbow. Cue the rainbow.
And the ball is on the 27-yard line. On the draw. Here's Lamar Smith. Smith to the 10. Still on his feet. Stretches.
Lamar
Touchdown. Seattle. First touchdown of the ball game.
Just a fabulous job by Dennis Erickson. Special team, his return team sets that up. And then that's just an individual effort by Lamar Smith. And the Seahawks are going for 2 here, Charlie. But what you have to watch is, 1, the blocking gets in the open field. But look at him break the tackles. That's 1. That's 2 by Lorenzo Lynch. Then you got Lewis coming over and trying to do it, but he got that in for the last 10, 12 yards all by himself.
And it was James McKnight who set it all up on that kickoff return. Meanwhile, the Oakland Raiders want to take a timeout. So they'll stop the clock. We'll step aside. We'll be back with the 2-point attempt in a moment.
So delightful.
Hey, Charlie, you know, you realize this game's going to Seattle, and there's people in Washington going, hey, that ain't no stinking rain. You think that's rain? Open my curtains, look outside. Now that's rain.
Seahawks now going for 2. They trail 14-9, and now they call a timeout.
A little strategy.
Talking about strategy now with 55. Guess who's going to talk strategy at halftime? Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. NFL on NBC, the halftime report. It will all be there. Talking not only about this playoff situation, everything else that's going on in the National Football League today.
You know, really, you go into the last week at the end of those games, you talked about who was going to be in the playoffs. And, you know, both, Joe Gibbs and Mike Ditka will give you some great thoughts on the where and who's. Because Joe tends to be very, very analytical about it. I mean, he's a coach. Mike Ditka, if you saw him today earlier in NFL and NBC, he was fired up. I mean, he was ready to get at it from the very second this thing started.
Now they're going to change their minds and kick.
Tootin's in the hole. Peterson's in the kick it, so they're going to be happy with putting 1 instead of 2.
Yeah, well, they played that numbers game. You got a better chance, of course, of making 1. 14-10 pulls within 4. The other would pull within 4. Meanwhile, and it's a 14-10 ball game. So Seattle, who in reality has done absolutely nothing on offense until the kickoff return by James McKnight. It was a short kick in the rain. Now the rain has gone away. He came up and caught him, went close to 50, 55 yards on the return. And that set up a 27-yard ramble by Lamar Smith, who goes in for the only touchdown that we've had so far in the ball game. And suddenly it's the Raiders 14 and the Seattle Seahawks 10.
Hey, actually, good decision, too, by Dennis Erickson to go for just the extra point there, Charlie, to be honest with you. You know why? We talked about how little Seattle has done on the offensive side of the ball.
Less than 50 yards.
You've got a chance. You've got a chance to put another point on the board. Don't get greedy. You didn't get down there because of your great offense. You got down there because of a great return and a good individual effort by Lamar Smith. Kick that extra point. And I mean, if you told Dennis Erickson that it was going to be 14-10 with 5 seconds to go at the end of the first quarter, he'd have been ecstatic.
But now let's see what the Seattle Seahawks are doing in total offense. They're up all the way to 47 yards in the first half.
Yeah, you remember that old thing on your right side mirror that says the objects in your mirror are closer than they appear? Well, even at 47 to 199, that object isn't very close in that mirror. It's just barely registering, but at least they're now in the mirror.
Meanwhile, Napoleon Kaufman and Tim Hall are the return men for the Oakland Raiders.
Napoleon Kaufman.
And it's taken by Napoleon Kaufman. Kaufman has to avoid one of his own men. He returns to about the 20, maybe the 21-yard line, depending on where he gets his spot. So the Raiders will have an opportunity here to run a couple of plays if they so desire, or they can simply run out the clock and sit on a 14-10 lead at halftime.
Well, you know, Mike White and his coach are going to be leaning towards the latter, Charlie, with a negative that happened the way it did in that return, the way they've dominated this first half to go in at halftime at 14-10. That's best case scenario. Don't do something that'll give Seattle another big play and maybe another scoring opportunity here with this little time left at 47 seconds.
Over comes out throwing to Tim Brown. A little start and stop move out to the 34-yard line. He picks up a quick 13 first down. The no-huddle offense. 2-minute offense in place now for the Raiders, being run by Billy Joe Hobart, who's looked very good at quarterback for Oakland. Quick drop, throws incomplete. And that was another catchable ball. Darrell Hobbs this time let it go through his hand.
That's exactly the kind of play I'm talking about. You get a ball like that that glances off a receiver here in these wet conditions, it can go back all the way the other way. And, you know, both teams have 2 timeouts left in this situation. There's 23 seconds left.
And the ball is at the 34-yard line of the Raiders. Raiders lead by 4, 14-10. Seattle with the only touchdown. The Raiders, they combine their numbers with field goals plus a safety. And going deep into coverage, and it is intercepted. It is picked off by Robert Blackman. Blackman now with the lateral. And out of bounds is Carlton Gray.
That is exactly what I'm talking about. You're giving a team now, there are seconds left. And yeah, I know Gino Torretta is a quarterback. Maybe they're not that worried about the passing game of Seattle. But you're giving a team an opportunity to get another big pass play and give them a shot at a field goal here by throwing this interception that's picked up by Robert Blackman. The important thing is done by Carlton Gray right here. He thinks about it, then he gets out of bounds. Look, watch Billy Joe. Remember I told you about he has that offensive lineman's mentality? Man, can't feel good. He's not exactly dressed for contact. Quarterbacks are not dressed for contact. They're dressed for success.
The ball at the 47-yard line of Oakland. And they've dropped everybody deep. They're going to rush 3. Renner steps forward. He's going to run for it. Sliding at the 33-yard line and needs to call that timeout. Now he signaled for it. There was a second up when he signaled for it.
He got it before the clock ran out.
30-second timeout. Please put 2 seconds on the game clock.
That's right. That's a good call.
2 seconds on the game clock, please.
That is a good call. Watching the clock and the thing at the same time.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And here's the situation I talked about, Charlie. I mean, granted, it is a long field goal. You're looking at a 52, 53-yarder out of a wet, soggy, re-sided area here, just this side of that Raiders helmet and logo in the middle of the field. But Dennis Erickson's team has a chance to pull 14-13.
Todd Peterson has hit from 54 yards away. Now, that was indoors in the Kingdome earlier this year. And he has hit from 45 yards out in this ball game. 44 officially. 42-yard line, 52 yards on the attempt. Is it going to make it? It does from 52 yards away. Can you believe this? The Seattle Seahawks have pulled within 1 point of the Oakland Raiders as we go to halftime. And the reaction of Dennis Erickson, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Well, you don't have a lot of offense, coach, but you're doing something right. Raiders have all kinds of weather here this afternoon, and it's getting a little on the cool side. But right now, it looks as if it could end up being a gorgeous afternoon.
No, it'll be back. Yeah, it'll be back. They were talking last night whether, on and off showers. They've been 100% correct on that. And they talked also about late afternoon possibility of a little thunder and lightning. So they got 2 quarters to go.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. All right, so Oakland will have the first opportunity on offense to start the second half as they will receive the kickoff, which is high and short. And here is Carl Kidd. Go to the 20, the 25. Across the 35 and then out of bounds at that point. Now let's check in with our Coors Light halftime stats and notice particularly the line that says total offense or total yards.
Exactly. I mean, but more importantly, time of possession. But the Raiders, 3 turnovers. Bottom line of this whole thing, folks, you know, besides the fact that I'm now writing in green instead of red, so I've got the whole holiday deal working, it's 14-13. I mean, it's unbelievable that Seattle is close to this team as poorly as they play.
But they are. They're right in the middle of it. And now the ball is loose on the sack. And Seattle has it.
Sam Adams smothers Billy Joe Holbert to cause that turnover. Wow.
And Michael McCrary recovers the fumble.
Watch Sam Adams right there, 98. I mean, Holbert's got no chance to get there. He tries to hand the ball off. That's why there's a fumble. There's Sam Adams, 98. Lincoln Kennedy tries to block down on him. He can't get him. That causes the fumble. And not only is it 14-13, but now Seattle's already in field goal range, and they've only got 60 yards offense.
And the ball at the 29-yard of Oakland.
Now they've now got 4 turnovers in the game.
Reda throws. It is incomplete. So it will be second down and 10 at the 29-yard line.
Well, these are the kind of games, though. You know, Mike White talked earlier about losing, you know, X number of games by X number of points and how close it is and how that drives you nuts. And you are so close. But, you know, these have not been a lot of physical errors that you can excuse. Mainly, these have been mental mistakes.
Nothing there. Greg Beaker drops Lamar Smith for a loss.
You know, when you get on this kind of a field, you can't get off real well, but penetration, as you saw the penetration of Sam Adams being critical, the penetration there of Chester McLaughlin was critical, because that's why Beaker got through so quickly to make that tackle, because McLaughlin had to take up 2 blockers as they dragged him down to the ground.
Third down and 13. Picked up. Pass is complete. This is Joey Galloway into the end zone, and guess what? The Seattle Seahawks have the lead.
Unreal, Charlie, and that was perfect execution, not only by Torretta, but watch Joey Galloway find a hole in the defense, sit in it, and then say, uh-oh, there's nobody around me, I better go. And no one even lays a finger on Galloway.
And also credit the Seahawks offensive line. They picked up the blitz, and they gave Torretta plenty of time to throw the ball. 14, the margin is 5, and they'll go for 2 on the conversion attempt. 2-point conversion attempt. On the ground, headed for the corner, and just coasting in is Lamar Smith as he goes in with a 2-point conversion. And the Seattle Seahawks are now out in front of the Oakland Raiders by a score of 21-14 as Joey Galloway scores his 8th touchdown of the year. We'll be back with a kickoff. Joey Galloway, who just scored his 8th touchdown on the year and needs only 8 more receiving yards, have back-to-back 1,000 yards receiving in the first 2 years in the NFL, and he would join Bill Moore, Bob Hayes, and J.J. John Jefferson as the only 4 men in NFL history to accomplish that as Napoleon Coppin returns the kickoff, and we go back to his touchdown.
Now watch the defenders in this sequence. The linebacker, the corner, and the safety. Galloway will catch the ball right about there, but watch how they react. You know, it's kind of like, you know, Mo, Curley, and Larry, and all 3 of them turn the wrong way, and Joey Galloway just sprints straight for the end zone.
And David Klingler is now the quarterback for the Oakland Raiders. And Mike White told us that he wanted to play David Klingler today. He didn't say, he said, we don't have a plan, but we'll just kind of go by feel. Well, he feels that this is the time. Klingler comes out firing, and the pass is complete. 31-yard line, 7 yards to James Jett. He's covered by Carlton Gray.
You know, Klingler does two things really, really well. He's what I would refer to as kind of an aim and zapper. He kind of looks at a receiver and kind of zaps the ball there to him really quick. And he's also very good down the field. Mike White made a comment that he has got an unbelievable touch and timing on the long ball. If you play for the Raiders, you better be able to throw the long ball.
Second down and 3. Klingler hands off to the second back, and that's Joe Aska. Aska's still bothered by that ankle injury.
You can tell right there from that look at Billy Joe Holbert, as you see his numbers. He's not what you refer to as a happy camper about the fact that he's no longer in this football game.
13 of 22, 176 yards. They're down and 3 with the ball at the 31-yard line.
And those are not numbers of a quarterback who deserves to be yanked out of the game.
No, I don't think he was yanked for that. I think he just was yanked. They want to see Klingler. It's the last game of the season. They've got to make some plans.
They also got to be 8-8, Charlie. And you don't do it with a guy that came into the season and working somewhere else, doing something else.
That's true.
Start on the offense. Number 82, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You know, the one interception that Billy Joe Holbert had was there at the end of the half that set up that field goal for the Seattle Seahawks. But honestly, that's a situation. I believe it now. You fall on the ball and don't let anything else negative happen to your team and positive to the other guy. You can't blame the quarterback for trying to do what he's being told to do.
He is not calling the play. They are being sitting from the sideline, either wig-wag or over his wig-wag. Well, that's an old football. He airs this one out, and it is incomplete.
That's a good-looking pass.
Yes, high.
High, just perfect spiral. You know, actually, he did. You know, he spent the early part of his career with the Cincinnati Bengals, and you saw the height and the beautiful arc and form on that. Remember who replaced him with Cincinnati? Was Jeff Blake. Jeff Blake also is a quarterback who throws the exact same type of long, looping kind of a long ball.
Back and punt formation for the Raiders.
Joey Galloway is the punt returner. Leo Aragus is the punter for the Oakland Raiders. That's his first game. Joey at the 28. Whoop. Joey, don't run to the middle of the field because it's been resodded in there. The footing is simply not there. We're not here. We'll step aside. In reality, I have a feeling that the holiday season is upon the Oakland Raiders because a lot of gifts have been bestowed upon the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, Santa Claus is wearing silver and black so far, and it's unbelievable that Seattle has got the lead in this game, but the only reason they have the lead is the Raiders have just given it to them.
But meanwhile, they have and their quarterback is Gino Torretta, and he just a moment ago threw his first touchdown pass in the National Football League, and guess what? He wanted the ball.
You know, yeah, hey, if Joey Galloway, you don't want it. He dropped it. He says, no, I want it. Just give me that thing. Now he's only, what, about 160 or so behind Jerry Rice and collecting touchdown balls?
Second down. Lamar Smith is shut down. You know, we say about the Seattle Seahawks in a ball game that they haven't generated any offense. But their defense has really played well, particularly in the red zone, and they have stopped the Raiders time and time again, not giving up the touchdown and forcing them to go for the field goal.
Oh, exactly. That has been the highlight. You know, Dennis Erickson came into this thing really expecting to have his team play extremely hard in this game and really lay it out here for us. The doubt has to come from the other side of the ball. Here's a team in the Raiders people are expected to go to the playoffs. They're not getting anywhere near that.
Third down. Pressure one instead of a screen. He'll take us out.
Albert Lewis, Charlie. There's a corner blitz.
We talked to him yesterday. He was really ready to play yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. He was pretty revved up when we saw him late yesterday afternoon. But they bring this from everywhere. Watch the bodies in black heading towards the quarterback. That's Albert Lewis at the top of the screen there, coming around the block, the attempted block by Lamar Smith.
And Rick Tootin will kick it away. Daryl Hobbs is the return man. Pretty good kick. Doesn't turn over. Hobbs drops it. Ball is still loose, and a scramble for it. The Seahawks may have it at the bottom of the pile.
Well, there's too many bodies now. There's no telling, but I'm pretty sure when they started that dog pile that a guy in the Seattle Seahawks jersey had it.
And he still does. And Seattle has the ball. 5 turnovers by the Oakland Raiders.
Well, what we haven't seen the inordinate amount of penalties from the Raiders. After 20 penalties last week, instead of giving it up by penalty, now they're just giving it up, period. And by I say it, I mean the football, because that one right straight into the chest and to the ground, and he never gets a chance to pick it up.
And guess what? It was James McKnight at the bottom of that stack who recovered it. Remember him on that short kickoff? And he had a 55-yard kickoff return for the Seattle Seahawks. Well, he's done it again. At the Oakland 36-yard line, the Seahawks have the first down. Ritter's pass is low and away, and it'll be second down and 10. Now we have a report on Billy Joe Hobart of the Oakland Raiders that he has a slight concussion, and that is the reason that he has been replaced by David Klingler.
Remember last week, Jeff Hostetler suffered a concussion in the third quarter and stayed in the better part of that ball game last week, led him to a big touchdown drive before they figured out that he didn't know his name, much less the plays.
Here's an update on that Dallas-Washington game. Third quarter, the Redskins leading the Cowboys 23-3. Lamar Smith stopped by Russell Maryland.
Now this puts Gino Torretta in a tough spot. I mean, you've tried a pass that was broken up by good defense by Albert Lewis. Then you try to run and lost 3 yards. Now it's 3rd and 13 for Dennis Erickson's quarterback, and you have to be extremely careful about where you throw this ball. I believe this ball belongs in the center of the field somewhere. You put it in the flat against these defenses, you open yourself up to an interception.
Little swing right flat. It is pulled in by Lamar Smith, and he is pulled down way short of the first down. Greg Biekert makes the play. And so Seattle unable to capitalize on the fumble recovery. They'll be kicking it to Tim Brown.
Well, we've seen the Seattle offense in the second half come out and look extremely similar to the Seattle offense we saw in the first. It's just somehow, some way, they have managed, when given enough opportunities by these Raiders, to build themselves a 7-point lead.
Seahawks lead it 21-14. So we're 9 minutes to go in the third. Let's go straight up, and
why didn't you catch that one?
Should have caught it, yeah.
McKnight, who's had a great return, he recovered the fumble. He was in the perfect position to catch Tootin's punt and pin the Raiders back.
Welcome back to the Oakland Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks. Oakland has the ball on their own 20-yard line, first down. And Klingler is high and away as he misses on the pass to James Jett. Program note, Christmas Day, join NBC Sports for an exciting NBA doubleheader starting with NBA Showtime in prime time at 5:30 Eastern. And game time at 6 p.m. Eastern. Your Christmas wishes come true as Shaquille O'Neal in the travel to Phoenix to battle Kevin Johnson and the Suns. In game 2, Grant Hill and the Detroit Pistons make a Christmas voyage to the Windy City to take on Michael Jordan and the defending world champion Chicago Bulls. It's a holiday NBA doubleheader, Christmas Day on NBC.
Jeff Hostetler talking on the sideline to Billy Joe Hobart, maybe giving him a few pointers about, you know, his little concussion last week. He kept getting those headaches, Jeff Hostetler did this week. You know, there's one thing I don't understand is some of the speculation around the league as we see Sam Adams get back up after being down a little bit. But Jeff Hostetler's been spoken about, you know, that he wouldn't be with the Raiders. Yeah, he hasn't mentioned that, but there's been word that the Raiders want to get rid of him, or I cannot fathom that. This guy is a winner. You want to talk about a guy that, you know, he can't throw the ball. He threw for 23 touchdown passes this year, more than he's ever thrown for in his career. But a guy that can really lead an offense. If they were ever to be dumb enough here to get rid of Jeff Hostetler, I think there'd be at least 20 teams out there would love to have a quarterback like him. And then you talk about on the other side, Charlie, you talk about Rick Mirer. You know, he's now the #2 quarterback, and he's going to be playing in a different, you know, colored jersey. You know, they put my magic telescope to work here. We could change colors. I mean, we could do a little orange, see how he looks in red, how he looks in, you know, another kind of, how he looks in black.
I'm going to tell you something else. We may see how he looks in this ball game when we get to the fourth quarter. We'll explain that to us. Here's the 40 and Coppin. Ball is loose. Seattle has it. Coming up with it is Corey Harris, and it's another turnover.
Fumble on the play, recovered by Corey Harris.
I tell you what, it's Thanksgiving when you normally have a turkey. But right now, the Oakland Raiders are laying a large turkey along with the football
Christmas turkey
all over this field here at Alameda Coliseum. I mean, this is really a shabby performance by the Raiders. I mean, this is just no concentration, no ball maintenance, 6 turnovers to 0. The best thing to be safe for the Raiders is they're not getting many penalties, but Mike White's team, that is not coaching you're seeing, folks. That's lack of concentration and poor play by an offensive team so far.
And it's first down goal to go Seattle at the Oakland 7-yard line. Smith to the right side. He gets almost to the 3-yard line. Lamar Smith finally brought down by Andre Bruce. Now the players having to be separated. We may have some ejections here.
Well, this is a sure sign that the Raiders are reverting back to
Chester McLaughlin.
You know, their style of football, which has gotten them all the way to a 7-8 record. So maybe it's time to stop playing their style of football. See James Atkins a little fired up there, number 74 for the Seahawks. Yeah, one thing you have to remember too about the Oakland Raiders, folks, is they have been in the playoffs, what, 3 times in the last 11 years? I mean, a lot has been said about, you know, world's champions this and world's champions that, but the last time this team was world champion in 1983.
Now we've got a timeout.
It's kind of a 30-second cooling off time. It's kind of, this is a hockey timeout. Nobody threw their gloves down or their sticks or their helmets, but we're going to take 30 seconds off right here, have a little cooling off period. Toretta's going to towel off, squirt off.
And it gives us a moment to bring out what we started a minute ago about Rick Mirer, who is designated as the number 3 quarterback in the ballgame for Seattle. But once we get to the fourth quarter, if he was to come in now, for example, then the other quarterbacks could not come back in. Gelbaugh, who was injured very early on in the ballgame with a groin strain, Toretta then could not come back in should something happen to Mirer. But if we get to the fourth quarter, then he can come in as the 3rd quarterback, and then Toretta could come back in.
Well, with this kind of field position, Charlie, Dennis Erickson could go in at quarterback. Confusion for the Raiders defense.
Lamar Smith is the tailback. And Smith is the ball carrier.
Lamar Smith.
And he is in for the touchdown. And Lamar Smith has scored his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. He has 8 on the year, and there's a flag. So let's see what's going to stand up. The call. Personal foul against the Oakland Raiders. They will assess that on the kickoff.
Well, we've only got a little over a quarter in about 8 minutes, but Mike White's team's going to try and see if they can't add to their penalty total as you watch Smith fight, and fight some more and get himself in for that touchdown. Both these touchdowns for this young man today have been high effort affairs.
On the defense, number 51, kicking. good. The foul will be administered on the kickoff. Number 51 is ejected.
Lance Johnstone has been ejected on that personal foul.
As you heard there, for kicking. We're not talking extra points or field goals. That's usually kicking a man while he's down on the ground. And that kind of a behavior of kicking and things like that is something you couldn't tolerate from a rookie player, much less a veteran player. A rookie player has got to have the example and the leadership of older players around him that you just don't do that type of thing. That's one of the things that's always been missing in the last 13 or 12 years since they won their last title here, is that leadership, I think, and that little touch of class.
And meanwhile, Lance Johnstone goes into the locker room, being ejected for the ball game. And Todd Peterson will attempt the extra point. It is good. Seattle Seahawks now lead the Oakland Raiders 28-14. Time remaining third quarter, and the Seattle Seahawks in front of Oakland by 14 points. They're up 28-14, and will be kicking off from their 45-yard line. That's due to that personal foul penalty that is placed, assessed on the following kickoff. It will be down in the end zone by Carl Kidd, and Oakland once again from their own 20-yard line.
I'll tell you what, you see how close they were holding that smelling salts to Billy Joe's nose? Folks, if you've ever tried smelling salts, there's no way they should be able to hold that close to your nose and you don't flinch and react to it. That's usually a pretty good sign that the signals aren't getting all the way up.
Total yards first half and in the third quarter. There's still 216 to 7. However, the big number, 28-14, will play action, but down pass is complete to Derek Finner. Finner's going to have about 3 yards on the play after the 23-yard line, where it's going to be second down and 7.
Well, you know, we saw that came back from that last commercial, the beautiful blue skies here now in Oakland, and basically cloudless skies here. And, you know, as cloudless as the skies are, these Oakland Raiders right now are pretty clueless the way they're playing football. They are not executing. They're not taking care of the football. All in all, they just need to get their act together.
Second down. Little swing left flat. Pass is complete. Off and up.
Robert Blackman defending.
So it's now going to be third down.
Third and 6.
That's one problem the Raiders have had so far today, has been their execution in exactly this type of situation. You don't want to be in this situation very often. Third and long is not what you call best case scenario. But you know, you're 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. That is not a tough down, and 2 of 7 sort of tells you where they've been at.
He's going to run for it and starts his slide past the marker. So he has the first down. And that's something that when you watch on television, or if you see a game in person, when the quarterback slides, the ball is where the ball is when he starts the slide, not where he ends up on the slide or where he's touched. Where the ball is when he gets down to start the slide.
Well, as soon as that knee goes down to the ground in the slide.
Yep. But he doesn't get that carryover for another couple of yards and then the touch by the defender.
Now, Greg McMackin's defense for Seattle, the first half played very, very well. And since then, they have been helped as much by the Raiders' offense as they have been by their own game plan.
We have flag. Might be a delay or a false start.
Before the snap, false start on the offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty, first down.
On Steve Wisniewski. Six minutes and 17 seconds. That is the time remaining in the game.
We got a nice clear sky. Remember earlier we talked about all the rain, the crummy weather, penalties, and no turnovers.
Yep.
Wow. We've got 6 turnovers and 8 penalties so far, 5 against the Raiders.
Finger's pass far side is complete. James Jett pulls it in.
And really, the Seattle defense will keep giving the Raiders these types of plays, these little quick ones like that, because this is basically saying just you want to drive the ball 12, 14 plays. You want to do that to score a touchdown, fine, but we don't think you can.
Second down and 7. On the backfield is Spinner again. He's got the first down out to the 50-yard line. And maybe into Seahawks territory, Carlton Gray and Terry Wood were trying to stop Derek Finner at 6'3", 245 pounds.
Remember we talked about this earlier about if you're playing take your shot, don't break down and stand there because you can't react as quickly as he can. And Terry Wooden could have had a shot on Finner. He started to break down. Finner made that move. He couldn't react. That's where Finner got the extra yards.
And a first down at the Seahawks 49-yard line. And we have an injury timeout. Carlton Gray of the Seahawks is shaken up for a moment.
Carlton Gray is going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season, coming into next year for the Seattle Seahawks. He's pretty excited, actually, after talking to him yesterday about testing the waters out there for him, see what kind of market he's had. Had some injury problems early in his career, but he's one of those guys you don't hear much about defensively around the league. And most of the time, when you don't hear something about a guy during a game and he plays corner, it's a good sign because that means people aren't throwing at him.
Selwyn Jones in the secondary for the Seahawks. Derek Finner getting the call. Looking for a yard on the play. It'll be second down and 9.
Now the Raiders are showing this no huddle, kind of a Buffalo type offense. They're not really in much of a hurry. They're just not getting into a huddle.
The quarterback pass is complete. It is caught by Hobbs. He is pushed back. Now he recovers. It's a nice recovery. As he was hit on the far side, the flag is down. He was knocked back about 5 or 7 yards. And then he did the grand circle route and almost picks up the first down. We'll have to check out the marker. May have been a face mask.
Well, he did a little circle route on his way to the ground, too. Might have had somebody yank on his face mask. That thing.
Mike Carey.
After the run, there was a face mask on the defense. 5 yards, first down.
Cortez Kennedy, number 96, right here. Now that is a full spin you around face mask, too.
7 yards on the pass.
And that takes the ball to the 5-yard line with the penalty and the first down. And remember, Oakland started this drive back to their own 20-yard line, and they have been shut out of the end zone as far as touchdowns are concerned. They have field goals and one safety. It is a high looping rainbow type pass, and it is incomplete in the end zone. Kenny Shed, the intended receiver, and Selwyn Jones, who came in replacing Carlton Gray, is the man who broke it up.
Well, you know, you talked about the style of pass, Charlie, but the line here is somebody's going to have a chance to catch this ball. I mean, it looks awful nice, but it's not exactly thrown into an area where there's a clear guy as to who that's thrown to. Selwyn Jones does a very nice job of knocking the ball away, but more importantly, his body position was right where Cleveland was trying to put that ball.
Second down and 10. Incomplete. Finger going to Tim Brown. It'll be third.
So, you know, when you get in this type of a game, Charlie, I don't know if you folks at home can feel this. There's 3 minutes and 52 seconds left here in the third quarter, and the game does not seem to feel like it's got much of a pulse. Oakland's moving the ball down the field. but it almost seems like a scrimmage to a preseason game out on the field. You don't have people flying around. You don't have people going crazy. You don't have people really acting like this is really that important.
That was third and 10. Hobbs, the intended receiver. So it'll be fourth down.
Right then that play there, they ran a zone blitz against the Raiders offense, and you know Mike White's our quarterback had that ball tipped away by defensive end Mike McCrary.
Seahawks out in front, 28-14, as Leo Aragus of the Raiders will be kicking. Corey Galloway makes a token appearance at the 10-yard line as a returner. This one should carry to the end zone. And it does. It'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. We'll step aside. Seahawks lead it 28-14. Watching this ball game. And we've been watching, these are seagulls actually, and they've been playing hopscotch over the lights here trying to keep warm. You can see the wind there is really blowing. Look out, don't get hurt. And they're playing a bit of leapfrog.
When the stops, you have to be on the right line.
The Seattle Seahawks, the real ones, oops, there's a false start. Derek Graham is going to be called for it.
False start on the offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, it remains first down.
Back to the 15-yard line, first down and 15.
You know an offense hasn't done a lot of run blocking when you look at their offensive line and you see how clean they are. You look at the forms, the offensive line of the Seattle Seahawks, all they've really done is pass protect some for their quarterback. They haven't been in for that many plays. This team just somehow managed to take advantage of so many mistakes by the Raiders, and they've already scored 28 points with mirrors.
And the Seahawks lead it 28-14. And the reverse. This is Mike Pritchard on the reverse. Remember they opened the game with Joey Galloway, Greg Bickert with the tackle. Now the officials are trying to keep some of the Raiders. You know, it's going to go on the rest of the afternoon this way.
Well, it was Lorenzo Lynch and Carlester Crumpler, and to be honest with you, Lynch took a cheap shot at the side of Crumpler's head as he was running by at the end of that play, and that's why Crumpler reacted the way he did.
And as you mentioned earlier, the Oakland Raiders reverting to time. A gain of second down and 9. 3 minutes. Time remaining in the third. Lamar Smith. Just a couple of yards. That's going to be it. Maybe only one. Chester McLaughlin was there along with Greg Bickert, who has been everywhere on defense for the Oakland Raiders.
Anywhere between the numbers so far today, Greg Bickert, it seems, has been a... And it's really, to be honest with you, it's the kind of year this guy has had at inside linebacker. He has made those kind of plays all year long for the Silver and Black Raider football team. He is one of the few real highlights, I think, on the defensive side of the ball this year for the Raiders, along with Chester McLaughlin.
Third down and 8. Oakland shows a 7-man front. Now they come out. Here's the pressure. Goes right into a middle screen. It is in. They're going to say it was complete and a fumble. And recovered by the Raiders.
He threw that little short middle screen in there. He had the ball, and the ball was pulled loose.
So the Raiders with a golden opportunity for them to get right back in the ball game.
And that's the first turnover, if it stands up, for the Seattle Seahawks today. Raiders have 6. Seahawks now 1, and calling that a fumble recovery, as you heard our officials say. And that ball was thrown in there by Torretta, and he was stripped out at the last second. Watch Torretta trying to throw a little middle screen. Look at Bickert reading it perfectly, stripping the ball out on the contact on the tackle. Once again, Greg Bickert in on a big play.
And Jerry Ball recovers a fumble for the Oakland Raiders. And the Raiders at the Seahawks 20-yard line, first down. Off into the right side. close to the first down.
Well, last couple plays. This is the Raider football team we saw at the beginning of the football game. Mike White's defense was making plays and stuffing the Seattle offense. And Napoleon Kaufman was reading blocks and getting it. I mean, that's just pure going for Napoleon Kaufman. There's not a whole lot of fakes and jukes. That's just get the ball and head upfield.
11-yard line, gain of 9, second down and 1. The remaining back, and here he is again. Goes to the outside, gets back inside, has the first down, 4-yard line, first down, goal to go.
Say, this guy Kaufman is really taking advantage of some nice blocking up front. Just look at the guys in black and the job they're doing. You got Glover doing a nice job. You got pulling around Lincoln. Kennedy does a nice job. Look at that, Mike. There's Glover on Sinclair, the pro baller. There's Lincoln Kennedy pulling around, getting a little something on Terry Wooden. And then that's just Napoleon Kaufman getting it. It being the yards in this point.
And we have an equipment timeout with 1:03. That is the time remaining in the third. One of the Seahawks players is shaken up. It's an injury timeout. Meanwhile, one of the Raiders is having his equipment worked on at the 20-yard line. There he is.
Turk, who's in the game at center, snapped all year long, but last couple of weeks with Barrett Robbins being out, being sick, and being in the hospital, he's got a chance to start the last couple of years, and he did start in the past here for Oakland at center.
And Robert Blackman was the Seahawk who was shaken up. And he is going to go to the sideline for at least one play. And of course, the reason being that if you stay in the ball game, it costs you a timeout, so you out for the one play.
And also, if you stay in the ball game, you run the risk of them trying to find you matched up with Tim Brown or somebody they figure they can get a good play with.
The ball at the 4-yard line of the Seahawks. The Raiders have not scored a touchdown today. And it's first down and goal to go.
Lincoln Kennedy, the right tackle, 72, trying to quiet the crowd. Either that or do an imitation of those seagulls up on top of the light towers.
Kennedy played his collegiate ball at the University of Washington. Added the man to his left. Devin Gogan, the guard.
Double snap.
Meanwhile, Klingler, after the fumble snap, battles his way to the 1-yard line. That may be the most effective play they've had inside of the 5 today.
You know, I'll be honest with you, Charlie. It looked like he sort of crawled through legs.
Yes.
Watch him fumble the snap. The ball hits the ground. He picks it up. Now watch where he goes afterwards, though. He gets down. It looks like he's just sort of crawling through legs and just sort of comes out of the pack. And the Raiders got the ball now on the 1-yard.
Second down and goal to go.
Time running out in the quarter. Jerry Ball, Charlie, at fullback, leads them in for the touchdown.
And Derek Finner scores.
Now that's a fullback. That is what you refer to as an extremely fullback. Gets a nice lead block right into Terry Wooden. Wooden never really has a chance. Wooden goes about 235 pounds. Jerry Ball goes 325-ish and makes a heck of a dent in that defense.
And here now is the extra point. Time has run out in the quarter. It is up. It is good. To add 7 to the total of the Oakland Raiders. And after 3, the Seattle Seahawks lead 21. That's the end of the third. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Randy Cross, we start. The fourth quarter is a scoring by quarters. And Seattle up over Oakland 28-21. Corey Harris is the deep back, throws it at the 7-yard line. A little hip-hop move at the 20. Goes to the 25, where he's down at that point.
Returns it to the 25.
We have a program note coming your way on NBC on this beautiful afternoon, and that is next Sunday. Check your local listings. The NFL on NBC. The NFL playoffs have arrived next Sunday, an AFC wildcard game. Join us at Eastern Time with a pregame show that to see and play. Because we don't know yet who's going to play whom and where. But we'll be there. You can count on that. 25-yard line. You can count on Seattle now. See if they can get something going. Little play action fake. Little slip and a little interception, and the Raiders have the ball. Mike Morton with the interception, a flag, and then the lateral to Greg Biekert. He will have a flag at the 23-yard line.
That flag was down in what was the Seattle Seahawks offensive backfield.
Lateral to Greg Biekert.
That was not a forward lateral, I don't think, so that can't be the call.
After the interception, there was a low block on the intercepting team, number 93. They will keep the ball after demonstration of their foul, 15 yards, first down.
It's called on Jerry Ball, the interception by Mike Morton, and the Raiders have the ball.
It's a low block down around the knees, which you refer to usually as a chop type block. And to be honest with you, defensive linemen love to get offensive players, running backs, quarterbacks, and those type of positions where they can put a cut block down into the lower body. But during a return of any kind, it is illegal to block down below the knee.
And the Raiders will have the ball at the Seattle 48-yard line. First down. Raiders trailing by 78-21 as we open the fourth quarter. Winkler goes deep, and he's almost intercepted. Over the head of the intended receiver, Tim Brown. Fred Thomas could not pull it down. It is incomplete.
Well, they have what looked like a corner blitz, too, on Klingler, and he just gets this ball off. There's Tez Kennedy and McCrary working things through there, and that's Cortez Kennedy that ends up getting him. And that is an eyelash away from being a sack. Cortez Kennedy.
Second down and 10.
What do you call it? Almost sack. Is that a baggie?
A semi-baggie. Well, half in the baggie. Right side pass is complete to James Jett. He goes out of bounds.
Oh, and Jett does a nice job, too. Remember, we keep talking about this field and the condition. You see the slop coming off of Jett's arm and shoulder and that whole side of his body from skidding, but he does not mess around. He doesn't try to make a cute move. He catches the ball, lowers his shoulder, and goes. Just goes right through Selwyn Jones trying to make that tackle.
Selwyn Jones in replacing Carlton Gray. They've been going right at it. Darryl Hobbs, it was right there between the numbers, and it came out.
Oh, David Klingler just gunned that thing right at the right shoulder of Darryl Hobbs. You know, sometimes a ball like this, you almost don't want to let it get into you. You want to get it with your hands before it gets to your body, because if it gets to your body, it's bouncing out of there quickly.
And it's leaving bruises. Second and 10, 36-yard line. Inside the 20 to
ball down.
Ball is down.
Indecision from the officials as to whether or not he was down. I don't think he was down.
Seattle has the ball. Another turnover.
What you have to see is whether or not he was down before the ball came loose.
Fumbled and recovered. First down.
Fumble and recovered by Seattle. Terry Wooden recovers this fumble.
Now watch Kaufman when he gets down here about 10-15 yards. Is he down before the ball comes out? No, that was down. The ground caused that. That is not a fumble. One more time. Nope. has a fumble. Is the ball coming out? Not until after he hits the ground. That was not a fumble, but it is a 7th turnover.
And Seattle has the ball at their own 20-yard line. And the ball comes out here. And it's no, they're going to say this one is down. Bishop is coming in saying it's down. Lamar Smith.
Gain of 1 yard. Second and 9 from the 21.
He's second down. Ooh, crowd's turning. Crowd's turning on him.
Yeah, life's tough.
Yes, it is.
Watch Lorenzo Lynch. Is he down before he gets his ball stripped out? The knee is down. The ball is not. There you go. That was stripped late. He was down.
Second down. And Toretta is sacked by Chester McLaughlin. And Bat Swilling also had a piece of it. Swilling with 5 sacks on the year and 104.5 in his career.
This is nice team defense. A persistent pass rush and really a lot of very good coverage down the field. You know, Gino Toretta, as you'd expect, we talked about them blitzing and or stunning him a lot. They got a lot of chances to get after this guy in his first try in the NFL.
Third down and 14. And timeout. Seattle takes the timeout. Their second. They have 1 remaining. The Raiders have 3 remaining. And we'll be back to Oakland in just a moment. Third down and 14. Here's the draw. Lamar Smith. Still struggling. 2 flags are down. He struggles all the way to about the 20-yard line. But there are a pair of flags. Carrington and Lynch on the stop.
Lorenzo Lynch with the tackle.
There was what you might refer to as a consensus. As hard as he was fighting, there's a chance this is the face mask later on in this play.
At the end of the run, the face mask, defense number 43. 5-yard penalty only, 3rd down.
Okay,
It's on Lynch for 5 yards.
Here, late in the play. How late? He's fighting. He's fighting. Right there. See the right hand of Lynch just gets on the mask. That was not so much a pull as it was a brush.
And that's the reason it was only the 5-yard penalty. And the ball is spotted at the 25-yard line. It is 4th down. And the Raiders are only 2 penalties away. No, it's 3rd down. They're only 2 penalties away from setting the record. 8 and 94 yards.
Is it setting a record when you already hold it?
Well, breaking your own record. How's that? And with that last face mask, of course, the down goes over.
Seattle is now out of timeouts.
Out of timeouts with 11.5 minutes to go. Now there's a man who never had his timeouts counted. Whoa.
The first thing I want, what's he get for Christmas?
Anything he wants.
What do
The whole store.
you buy this guy for Christmas? I mean,
A motivational book, perhaps.
how do you wrap a side of beef? I don't know whether he wants a side of beef or he prefers still on the hoof.
You want to tickle me, Elmo? He probably can get one. Now there's a man who's waiting for his ship to come in, and I think he's in the wrong harbor.
You know what it says in the back of this guy's jersey? Violator. How apropos. Penalized team in the league this year and probably of all time should have a fan with violator on the back because they're the lead violators in the NFL.
3rd down and 5. Here comes the blitz again, and it is incomplete. Joey Galloway, the intended receiver, still needs, we believe, 8 yards to reach that 1,000-yard mark for the second year.
5 yards to go.
And the Raiders continue to blitz Gino Toretta. It was once again Lewis coming off the corner as a cornerback on that blitz right into Gino Toretta's face.
And Rod Tootin is going to kick it away to Tim Brown. Seahawks are up 7, 28-21. Another bad kick. He had a series of bad kicks in the first half. Bobbled, dropped, and then covered by Tim Brown. But Tootin kicking well, and now he comes back with that low line drive. We'll be back in just a moment. Sprinkling of clouds. If you've been with us today, we've seen a little bit of everything here as far as the weather is concerned, but right now it is simply gorgeous. We have 11 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in the ball game. The Oakland Raiders have the ball at their own 37-yard line, and they are down by 7. Klingler's pass to the near side is incomplete. Ricky Dudley, the intended receiver, said that was on me. A turnover ball game.
Well, it's a slop. I mean, the Raiders and everybody are getting the penalties, and look at this, 13 possessions for the Raiders and 7 turnovers. I mean, it's bad enough when you got a couple if you're Seattle, but if you got 7's a bad month, not a bad 3 quarters.
More than half of your possessions have ended in turnovers.
I ciphered that at about 50-something% too.
Yeah. Both at the same mathematical page. Second down. And Napoleon Kaufman cannot even get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a couple of yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 12. Joe Nash was there for Seattle. Kaufman comes out on 3rd down and long.
And now the interesting thing for me here on this play is how Greg McMackin, the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, attacks David Klingler. You've got him in 3rd and long. Do you blitz him? Just make an all-out effort to get in his face right now. They're sure showing it.
They show blitz, but they drop out on most of it. Klingler scrambles, cuts back, moves to the 40. Needs a block. He's got one. Oh, man, is he stunned at the 45-yard line. And he is up and moving. Oh, yeah, he is the stunner. And Fred Thomas is the stunnee. Helmet to helmet. He didn't slide for it. He wanted the first down.
Well, they showed him blitz. What he got was a blitz zone. And now it's just great timing. Ricky Dudley gets the last block right there, working on Corey Harris. You talked about that hit. I tell you what, both of them were pretty stunned between Thomas and Klingler right here. Good contact. I mean, just Thomas comes up and he's doing what you're supposed to do to a quarterback who's moving on the ground and is open for a hit. Give him one.
The cornerback of the Seattle Seahawks in that collision with the quarterback David Klingler of the Raiders was stunned. Now he has been helped to the far side. Klingler is up. He's ready to go. Now 4th down and about a foot, and the Oakland Raiders are going to go for it.
This is high stress time for both coaching staffs right here.
Three tight ends in this offensive set, and it's still going to be close. It looks as if the spot will be there for Derek Finner as you watch the officials come in from the sides. As we wait for the call, Mike Carey, the referee, is going to, he has stopped the clock. That normally means that he'll bring the chains out, and that's what he wants to do.
I don't know about this spot, Charlie, to be honest with you. It's going to be very close. I think they've got it by about 1/3 of a football. Approximately. Or six loops.
Or the N in Wilson, right?
8 Scotias.
And a smidgen in a pair of trees. All right, it is a first down. Here's a reminder that following the game on most of these stations is Dateline Sunday. And then it's the must-see counties. From the Sun in Boston Common, followed by that blockbuster hit, Sister Act. That's tonight on NBC. Viewers on the West Coast, of course, will see these shows at their regularly scheduled time. And speaking of time, just over 9.5 minutes time remaining in the ballgame. And the Seahawks lead by 7, 28-21. Into the quarterback for Oakland, and he is pulled down. And Michael McCrary, who came into the ballgame with 9.5 sacks, will add one more to his total. And the Raiders have the ball back at their own 41-yard line.
It's one thing about this Seahawks defense. You look at the sacks they have as a team and the sacks they have as a front four. I mean, with what Sinclair's done, what McCrary has done, Cortez Kennedy, Sam Adams, they get after quarterbacks, and it doesn't really jive up too well with Greg McMackin's defense's numbers as a whole.
Second down and 15. Finger comes out flying to Tim Brown. Brown has it. He's going to have 5 or 6. It'll be third down and about 9. Corey Harris with a stop.
6 yards.
Another guy, we talked about Galloway being not much of a factor. Just a couple of passes so far to Tim Brown. You know, that one being his 89th, tying his Raider high at 89 catches. Leaves him 6 behind Todd Christensen, one of your former partners.
89, 89, 89. One more to get off of that strike for the first time. Third down and 9. Incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
Daryl Hobbs, the intended receiver. It'll be fourth down. And Leo Aragus will come in to kick it away.
Hey, Daryl Hobbs is having a tough time with David Klingler's ball. I keep talking about when you get that thing like that in that position. I know it sounds funny, a lineman talking about a receiver catching, but you want to catch with your hands. Get it with your hands. Don't count on getting the rebound off your stomach. You don't like the odds of those rebounds off your stomach or the rebounds off your shoulder pads.
Joey Galloway back deep to receive.
Joey Galloway is the return man for the Seattle Seahawks. And he may have a shot at it. This is really short. Let it roll. Go all the way to the 5-yard line. Not a very good decision. He had a chance to move up, perhaps take it on the hop, but he didn't want to take the gamble. The Seahawks have the ball at their own 5 with 18 left, and they lead by 7. Seahawks Fred Thomas, the rookie who had that helmet-to-helmet collision with David Klingler, and he has a concussion and will not return to the ballgame.
Yeah, not only does he look like the Cape Crusader there, he probably thinks he is, as hard as he got hit in the head.
He's looking for Batman and Robin. 5-yard line. Not a lot there.
Well, if I'm Raiders right here, I absolutely go after Gino Torretta in this offense. Mike White's got them in the noisiest part of this stadium right now, backed up, you know, on their own about 3 or 4 yard line. The crowd's going to help you out. Just let it loose. I mean, take all the leashes off the dogs and let them go.
1 yard.
Loss of a yard to the 4. Second down and 11. Smith is the remaining back. Gino Torretta to Smith. His momentum is going to take him into the field of play. It is not a safety. Russell Maryland brings him down at the 1-yard line.
And that was exactly what we talked about. You know, Mike Morton was there from the linebacker position, but look at the bodies in black in the hole. He had a little problem with Gino Torretta on the handoff back there, but very lucky to get all the way back. You see in the backfield, but look at all the black jerseys out there just waiting for him. And Crumpler's lucky he didn't get called for a hold there working against Holmberg.
At the 1-yard line, third down and 14. Then out to about the 2, Greg Bickert shuts down Lamar Smith. And that means that Rick Tootin will be kicking with the back edge of the end zone.
This is a hit by 54. Great backside linebacker position. Kapaya to the ground. And a report. Remember the problems, Charlie, that Rick Tootin has had punting. Not only does he have to worry about stepping out of the end zone, he's got to worry about that rush.
And if he steps out of the back edge, no, he's going to get it away. Oh, good kick. Then Brown backs up, takes it to the 47-yard line, has an opening. He's to the 30. A flag is down, and he is down.
Going to get a push in the back, Charlie.
Drew Innocent again with a tackle for Seattle. That's the third time in the ball game that he's had the tackle on the special team.
I think it's going to be against James Folston, the linebacker, number 55, for an illegal block.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the team, number 55. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That'll make you mad. But I mean, that's just one of the things. A wonderful return, absolutely fabulous field position, ruined by a mistake, and another penalty on the Raiders. In a game that they started out not getting many penalties in, they've turned the ball over 7 times, and they're starting to creep up on that record.
They're not that far away from setting a new record, breaking their own. Their record is 156 for 1,274 yards. That is the old record. Here's Napoleon Connor. Inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. He has 6 yards, and it's second down and 4.
And that's the best solution to a stumbling type of offense right now, is to keep giving him the ball. Kaufman's asking for a towel right here. You see the way he was moving his hands, his fingers like that? He wants a towel because his hands are all muddy because that field is so wet. They're getting a lot of that kind of slick, brownish, it's like a silicone type dust forms on your hands from getting that stuff on your hands. That's why the ball gets so slippery.
He's replaced by Derek Finner. Klingler to throw. Little swing to Finner, right flat. Heads for the first down mark, and he's got it. 28-yard line. Derek Finner, who scored the touchdown for the Raiders, stopped by Corey Harris, but not before he picks up the first down.
You know, the same thing happens again. We've talked about it a few times today. When you get your chance, take your shot. And right there in that case, Corey Harris broke down in front of the running back Fenner and didn't take his shot, and Fenner just ran right by him.
.28-yard line, first down. 4 minutes, 42 seconds in counting. Time remaining, and the Klingler is sacked. Michael McCrary got it.
That gives Michael McCrary now 11.5 sacks on the year. That's 1 in each of the 2 series, and he just goes right around Harlow, 75. Remember, Harlow had to leave the game in the first half, suffering from the effects of the flu a little bit, and he just acted like the tackle wasn't even there. Just took the shortest route straight to the quarterback.
Second down, 17. Seattle leads it 28-21 over the Raiders. The Raiders were up at one time 11-0. High, incomplete. Jet the intended receiver. Owen Jones, they're going at him again, but the pass was too tall.
Well, Jet needed a step ladder to get a realistic chance of getting that. I mean, Klingler just flicked that thing out there, and it just rose on him. The further it went, the higher it got.
Third down and 17.
We talked about it earlier. Third and long has been a real problem for the Raiders today. Remember, both these teams playing with inexperienced quarterbacks. That's the area you expect it to show up the most. There and in the red zone.
4 wide receivers. Double slot on the near side. Klingler stumbles as he comes back, gets up. Now he's going to be down at the 37-yard line. So he'll end up losing 2 on the play. It'll be 4th down and 19.
It's just one thing after the other. If it's not floating away, it's trying to do your best Dance Fever imitation, getting your foot stepped on. You see what a quarterback does, it kind of springs back up like maybe nobody saw it.
Will pretend. Leo Araguz will be kicking. Joey Galloway is the return man. catch is called for.
Fair catch.
And
by Joey Galloway.
Joey Galloway has it. He's looking for a fair catch interference call, but he's not going to get it. Here's a program note. The NFL playoffs hences,
and it's a battle of former Mike Ditka quarterbacks.
Meanwhile, the battle continues here. Chester McLaughlin said a false start. I was pulled off. Let's see if James Atkins did move.
Yeah, right. When in doubt, point.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be a false start, though, against the offense. You saw the preliminary signal.
Before the snap, there was a false start on the offense, number 38, 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Yeah, they're calling on the fullback, Max Strong.
See, that's why you say when in doubt. They're pointing at the offensive lineman, and the official gets the running back for it.
First and 15.
First down and 15. At the 12-yard line. Again, Seahawks leading 28-21 without generating hardly any offense at all. I believe less than 100 yards, the total offense in the ballgame. We will check that one. Joey Galloway, the intended receiver, and it is incomplete.
It's one of those things, Charlie. If you look at the stat sheet in tomorrow's newspaper, if this score stays this way with 3:27 left in the fourth quarter, you would absolutely say, oh, the Raiders won. The Raiders finished at 8-8. 323 to 82. You look at that right away. Who's ahead? Well, the guys with the 82 got 28 points to go with their 82 yards.
And then if you follow the NFL, you'll say, well, let's look at the...
Well, they got 3 points for every yard.
Lamar Smith not able to get anything going. Mike Morton, who has a fumble recovery for Oakland, makes the tackle. It'll be third down and 13. And we have an Oakland player who is down. That is Chester McLaughlin, who is down.
Remember, he's
going to the Pro Bowl.
Remember, Charlie, he was hurt earlier with the back problems. See, I'm stretching over on the sideline.
Yes. All right, we've got a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. Remaining.
Chester
McLaughlin coming to the sideline. As I mentioned, we'll be going to the Pro Bowl along with Tim Brown of the Oakland Raiders. Cortez Kennedy and Michael Sinclair for the Seattle Seahawks will be going to the Pro Bowl. Indianapolis and Pittsburgh in that wild card game next Sunday.
That's an excellent game.
That's a great matchup.
Two real contrasts. You got a team in Pittsburgh with a game and a fantastic attacking defense. And goodness only knows how Lindy Infante and the Indianapolis Colts have managed to get in the playoffs this year. What a fabulous job by everybody in that organization.
With all of the injury that they have had and still able to do it. Here is the draw. And this is a first down and more. Lamar Smith. What the Seahawks needed at this point was a big game, and they got it.
Well, there's two ways of doing this. Okay, the ways is you either go straight or you do a little bit of this. Or you do what Lamar Smith does. Watch what he does.
First down at the 36.
Remember, the first line was a straight one. Well, the first one is crooked. Then he goes straight. Now he goes crooked. So it's just a little mix. He's doing a little bit of both. He's attacking and he's making a miss at the same time, and it's exactly what Gino Torretta in this offense needed.
And Oakland takes a timeout, stopping the clock with 2:44. That is the time remaining. Albert Lewis is limping as he goes to the near sideline for the Oakland Raiders. But back to that matchup in the wild card next Sunday on NBC. Indianapolis and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, Indianapolis, remember, folks, with all the problems they've had this year and the injuries, and Jim Harbaugh's been absolutely pummeled at times at quarterback. This is a team that was one long pass away from the Super Bowl last year, and as great a story as they were, upsetting San Diego and Kansas City at their places, going on the road and almost doing it at the Pittsburgh. They're a better story this year, because I think this year they're actually a better team, because there isn't a more physical defense, I think, in the NFL than Indianapolis' defense.
And then you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and what did they do? Well, they did it all with a brand new quarterback.
Yeah, Tom Zach, nobody likes Tom Zach.
That's right.
Nobody says anything nice about poor Mike. I mean, Mike Tomczak will have to get to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl to get a compliment. It's unfortunate.
And then they will say it was a running game that did it.
or defense.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but that's just kind of the way it is for him. And he's really come to accept it, to be honest with you. He doesn't like it, but he accepts it.
This will be a good ball game next Sunday. First down, 36-yard line. Big hole up the middle. Breaking to the far side is Lamar Smith. He's finally going to be brought down inside the 45-yard line by Mike Morton. And right now, that offensive line of the Seattle Seahawks, they are beginning to make their statement.
Well, what you're also seeing happen is these guys here are choosing their direction. Watch the defenders choose their direction, and when they choose direction, Lamar Smith goes, well, there's my hole. Nice job by Crumpler backside getting the block, but he lets the defenders declare where they're going, and once he does that, he finds the hole himself. So it's sort of a slow delay draw by Seattle, and Lamar Smith is executing it perfectly.
It'll be a first down at the Oakland 43-yard line. Albert Lewis, the cornerback for the Raiders, has left through the near sideline again. Back in a moment. Passing the sideline, he has been limping the last 2 times that he's come to the sideline. Now he's out of the ball game for a moment. Seahawks at the Oakland 43-yard line. Raiders have 2 more timeouts remaining. 2 minutes left in the ball game. And Lamar Smith gets the call. And of course, Seattle will just continue to use up the clock. And the Raiders will take their next timeout. Mike Morton with the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, Albert Lewis and the defensive backs. I mean, this is women, children, and wide receivers to the sideline, because they are just going to run inside the tackles in this case and just sort of try to get their yardage, just pounding the ball. Just use up the clock, make the Raiders use up their timeouts, and hold on to this 7-point lead.
Very strange ball game from the standpoint of the fact that Seattle with less than 100 yards of now by the time they finish this drive, they may go over 100 yards in total offense. It'll take the final drive of the ball game to do it for them.
Question.
Yes.
If you started the game and you're a pitcher in this instance, do you get the win if you're Gelbaugh?
No, he didn't face enough batters. He didn't go 5. No, the win would go to Gino Toretta. And in case you weren't here, Lamar's and now flags come flying in.
That's going to be probably on Pat Swilling of the Raiders. That might be the one who puts him over the top for the record, too.
And meanwhile, the pushing and shoving and the arguments continue. Flag is still sitting on the ground at the 45-yard line. Here's the call.
Personal foul on the offense, number 52. Late hit after the ball was dead. A continuing action foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
Now on Kevin Mawai.
And that's a penalty left side of the screen here. Watch 52. Coming in against Lorenzo Lynch. Right at the end of that play, puts a pretty good decleater on Lorenzo Lynch. And that's why Pat Swilling came after him. Look at him, he's kind of shrugging like, it was worth it.
Clock is stopped now with 1:47 time remaining in the game.
What this really sets up for the Oakland Raiders with that penalty is the possibility of getting this ball back.
Yes.
Going to get the ball back.
Correction. Personal foul line. 3rd down.
They declined the penalty because they wanted to be 3rd down. Good call.
Right. It's third and we'll call it 8. Right around there. And this gives them the opportunity. This means Gino Toretta. And this is a good situation. If you're the Oakland defense, you're saying my defense can stop Gino Toretta in this play and get my offense back the ball with about 1.5 minutes left.
From the 42.
Actually, about 1 minute left by the time they actually get their hands on the ball.
Defense.
Third down. Ricky Paul is the motion man. And Lamar Smith just seeing if he finds anything at all as far as running room is concerned. Now the Raiders will take their last timeout as they stop the clock with 1 minute and 36 seconds left in the ball game. So they'll have plenty of time.
Well, remember, Billy Joe Holbert had to finish the Raiders game last week against Denver with a 2-minute drill and was intercepted, couldn't quite pull that off, and that's pretty understandable for a guy that probably hasn't run that in practice very often. How many 2-minute drills do you think David Klingler has done lately? I mean, the last 2-minute drill David Klingler did in a game might have been for David Shula at the Cincinnati Bengals.
I think you're right. Tim Brown is set as the return man at the 5-yard line. Rick Tootin.
Now is when you need one of those low-lining, rolling punts.
Tootin is the punter. There's Brown. It's kind of a little boot. Fair catch. Taken at the 9-yard line. 91 yards away for a touchdown and an extra point to tie it, or touchdown and go for 2 for the win.
Well, you got to.
Klingler to throw. Far side, and it is pulled down by Tim Brown. Nice grab.
Number 90 on the year. He finally got off that 89 number, and that was a nice throw by David Klingler.
First time in Tim Brown's NFL career that he's had 90 receptions.
But honestly, Charles, the defense for Seattle is going to give up a certain degree of these. This is not a game where they need a field goal to tie it up. They need a touchdown.
First down, 29-yard line. Klingler is going to be sacked. They will pull him down. That will stop the clock momentarily on the sack. Philip Daniels gets the sack. They'll rewind the clock.
Well, that sack, the clock temporarily stops until they get the ball spotted. They're in the last 2 minutes.
And Klingler has all the room in the world. He just lowered his helmet. He's got the first down. He's up ready to go again.
I tell you, he should have gone out of bounds.
Yeah.
I don't know why he ran back in the middle of the field. He wouldn't have got the first down, but he would have stopped the clock.
And he may spike it here just to stop the clock. That's what he'll do. 40 seconds, that is the time remaining. You're right. He cost, 10, 12 seconds by coming back to the middle of the field rather than going to the far side.
But now's the situation. You remember the dreaded prevent defense? Well, Greg McMackin there is checking his list. See, the list has got all the situations on it. You know, if they come out in 2 wide receivers, if they come out in 3 tight ends, and it's got a little section also about the end of a game defense. You're going to see the end of the game defense where you'll see at least 3 to 4 defensive backs 15 to 20 yards off the ball.
42-yard line. 2nd and 10 after spiking the ball. Dumps it off right side, incomplete. Derek Finner, the intended receiver.
Well, good pressure there by Kennedy and McCrary coming from Klingler's backside to put the pressure on, causing that incompletion. And if there's ever a time you need protection, it's in the 2-minute drill like this. You cannot be hit and harassed if you want to be successful.
And for the Seattle Seahawks, they need to stop the Oakland Raiders on these 2 to allow them to take over on downs and run out the clock and have the victory.
Oakland wants to be 500 at 8-8. You lose this game, Seattle wins. You share the cellar in the AFC West at 7-9.
Again, dumped off to the right side. Ricky Dudley was there. 4th down.
Now you're seeing that end of the game defense. The deepest defender is 25 yards from the ball right now. You won't get behind this defense.
And it is incomplete. That was 4th down and 10. As Klingler takes the pressure, 8 seconds time remaining, and all that the Seahawks will have to do is to come out and take the snap and run it off. And that will have to happen before it can be an official game.
Ending the game on a positive note, and the Seattle Seahawks somehow, some way have managed to end it on a positive note with a win in a game they really have no business winning by the value of the offense they put on the field. But the defense played well, the special teams played well, and the Raiders really cooperated and gave them the ball a lot.
And they took advantage of it. Every time that the Raiders gave them an opportunity, they cashed in on it. And now they need only to take the snap, kneel down, and that will make it official. And we take the count down to 000 to make it official. And that is the final score. Seattle 28, Oakland 21. Back in a moment.